Welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 179 of Directly to You. It's our podcast. We do this every week. We talk about Nintendo and
typos
stuff.
in real life.
True. Typos in real life. I am AJ. I'm the one that makes the typos in real life. I'm from fanatixfour. I'm joined by Parker, also fanatixfour. We're the ones that make the podcast that I just mentioned seconds ago. You can support the podcast and the channel and the typos by going to youtube.com/fanatixfour or twitch.tv/fanatixfour and give them $4.99. It doesn't even have to be your $4.99. It can be Jeffy Bezos's $4.99 if you have an Amazon Prime account, which you can link to your Twitch account, and you get a free subscription every month. You got to go to twitch.tv/fanatixfour and renew it. And you can just hang out in the Twitch chat when I'm playing video games. I'm playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, but we'll get to that in a second. You might get a gift sub from Trev. Somebody might say hit it, Trev, and then he'll give subs or something. But anyway, in exchange for that subscription, you get access to supporters only Discord where you can listen to us record this show. You get emotes, you get free Switch keys from time to time in the supporters chat when I remember to check my email, which I have to do. Anyways, you don't even have to be a supporter to join the Discord either. You can do that for the free by going to the link in the description. And if you're active in the Discord, you'll be able to get access to the recording as well. It's a good time. You get to say things in the Directly to You recording chat, which I just made today. And everything was broken for a second, but I fixed it. We're good. Anyway, we play video games here. What are you playing?
Yeah, man. A few video games, ATM at the moment. Yeah, playing. I just don't have the bandwidth and brain power and time to start a new game. So Animal Crossing has been great for that. I've still been playing, like, honestly, in the amount of time that I've spent on Animal Crossing, I probably could have played and beaten
a whole other
one,
game.
maybe two indie games, you know what I mean? But like, it just requires such little attention. And also, like, the clock in the game is always going to be bloated because, like, just open your island and you're like, oh, and set it down and do something else, and it's just sitting there open. So like Ashley's island especially, I know that her clock has got at least probably like 24 hours worth of extra time on it, of just like, at some point she was like, I'm gonna log off, and then it's just sitting there on the TV like, thanks, have a good day.
Yep.
So it's very uninvasive in that regard. But
that happens whenever there's a game like that you put, like Lee had like 4,000 hours in Smash Brothers. A lot of that is because he just leaves the game on doing idling. And it doesn't stop counting the hours.
Exactly. So
even though Smash keeps track of it, of like how much you're playing and how much you're not, I don't think Animal Crossing has anything like that.
That is always a funny thing in those games that keep track of more specific stuff, like the whole Metroid Dread thing, where like, everybody's time was vastly less than it, or was more than it showed, because it's only keeping track of the time that you were alive, like, and playing the game.
On time. Like active play time.
Yeah. So that's just funny. But yeah, pretty much Animal Crossing right now. Played a little bit more Mario Party because it's still good. I do hope more boards come, because already having played,
I think we know. More boards.
That's true. Coming. Oh yeah, because they data mined it, right?
It's like 2 more boards or something like that.
Cool.
But I don't know if that's all.
Yeah,
I was just like the boards that's like, we couldn't get them out in time, or if they actually intend to have like DLC or free updates or whatever.
I mean, because for what it's worth, like, adding more boards is pretty easy work, really. I mean, art assets.
I don't know, but like, because it's like adding more boards is like still balancing, like you gotta especially the type of boards that they have in this game, where it's like, all right, you got to figure out what the gimmick of the board is that fun?
But I just mean, like, if it's retro boards still, like, if they're bringing old ones back, then art assets, for sure. That's the thing.
Still like modeling and all that,
and like there's probably going to be new characters, like there's thwomps in the Horrorland one that aren't in the other one, so you need to create those and stuff. But if it's all the same mini games, which, like, I still haven't played all the mini games, I probably could check somewhere and have played, I don't know, maybe like 70 out of the 100 or something like that. But like, most times I play, we'll end up running into a new mini game at some point. But yeah, it's still fun. It's a good time for sure. The AI gets better as the more you play, because at this point it's like, man,
I played against the AI one time when I was trying to get more footage for my video.
Nice.
But other than that, I barely played the AI at all.
Yeah. I mean, Ashley and I have just played a bunch of times, and yeah, but it's fun. And yeah, Animal Crossing at this point, I'm getting close to the point again where either because my island is pretty much the things that I hadn't finished before, I'm pretty much done with now, more or less. So either I'll start doing Happy Home Paradise stuff, or I'll probably fizzle out in the not too distant future, or just like kind of slowly trail off. So perfect timing for finishing up a couple of games before the end of the year, or starting a couple of games before the end of the year that I'd wanted to, but hadn't, or whatever. So specifically, like, I don't know, I bought Eastward. It's just sitting there, haven't started it yet at all. But because I bought it this year and it came out this year, like, I'd like to at least have played enough to be able to talk about it in, you know, the end of the year game stuff, talk kind of stuff. Yeah. So we'll see.
I play Animal Crossing kinda, but I'm really just trying to make money. that's really what I've been doing. Like, if I turn the game on, it's because I'm like checking turnip prices, and I'll do like island maintenance stuff while I'm doing that, where I'm like, there's weeds here, I gotta dig up the fossils, like pick my fruit and whatnot. But I haven't really done any of the other stuff that I want to do because of all the other stuff that I'm trying to play. But yeah, Animal Crossing it's mostly maintenance right now. Once I'm big rich, then I'll be able to actually play the video game.
The funny thing is, like, one of my main goal at this point is to just pay off the rest of my house so that I can get the remote storage and stuff.
But then, I can help you with that. How much money you need, man?
No, I mean, it's like, it's going all right. You know, pretty much every day I'll pay off like another 100,000 or something like that. So, you know, at this point, I think I've got, I don't know, 1.5 million left to pay off or something. Because the first bunch of days, I mean, it's not, but like, I'm doing all right. It's working out, you know. Also, the crops are pretty decent money per like based
I don't know
on
how many trees you have on there, but yeah, if you have like a lot of foreign trees, it's a lot. Especially if you do like I would just stack up all my fruit and save them, and then do the bell ordinance for that day and just sell everything on that.
You know, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Because I haven't bothered to do the bell ordinance because I am still buying stuff when it shows up. And like, sometimes there'll be an expensive thing in my store and I'm like, oh man, I'd like to buy that. But yeah, that's a pretty good idea to just like do it all at once.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's not, that amount of money is not too different from like, if you're being like doing like more casual turnip stuff. Like me, I didn't do any of the like website stuff. I just been on my island being like, that's roughly more than double my money. I'm good with selling my turnips for that. Rather than going for the like maximum of like 700 bells per turnip or whatever. I like that would be easy to become big rich. But it's different, dude. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be as honest a billionaire as you can be, which is barely at all. But so that's the thing though, is that I want the benefits of the Happy Home Paradise stuff. I just don't want to do this. I haven't wanted to put in the time because I enjoy doing it well enough. Whereas like for Ashley, when she does it, she like really gets into it. And I'm like, oh, this, that, the other. Okay, good enough. You know, feels like an okay place. Yeah, I think that's you're too gamer, dude. You're too gamer. Like if you got rewarded more for doing more, you would do.
I would do more,
but because you know that it's the same thing, you don't care as much. But Ashley's just in it because she's like, I want to make it look good.
I want this character to be happy with me. Exactly. That I did a good job. When like they don't know the difference one way or another, but you know, still like better. It's more fun to believe.
True.
So, but I do want the benefits from that of like partitions and stuff. But I think Ashley and I are going to help each other where my house is fine. It's okay. But like, there's a bunch of things that could be done. And like, I also am like collecting more and more things so that eventually I'll have a lot of things and can do stuff with it the same way you can in the Happy Home Paradise houses. But in general, my house is like, you know, whatever. Whereas the island in general, like infrastructure wise, like I feel like works fairly well. And like, I like thinking about that kind of stuff. And Ashley is exactly the opposite. And today she was like, could you just help me? Like you do the infrastructure stuff like cliffs and waterfalls and all that, because I don't like doing that stuff and I don't really have much of a vision for it or whatever. And so I think we might help each other with each of our things. And together we'll be the greatest
Two
Animal
super
Crossings
islands.
we ever did.
The greatest Animal Crossings. But yeah, I'll get to Animal Crossing once I'm big rich, dude.
There you go. Yep.
Once I hit my 100 million bells,
once you've crossed the animal all the way.
It's true, dude. But other than that, I'm playing Pokemans, dude. But mostly just yesterday and the day before. Well, actually, no, just yesterday, Thursday, and a little bit today.
Nice.
It was fun, dude. It's just Pokemon.
Are you doing it as a Nuzlocke?
No,
I saw you say okay.
Absolutely not. If we hit the goal, I'll do a Nuzlocke because I want to, like, if I'm doing a Nuzlocke, I'm buying Pearl.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to do the Nuzlocke on that. And for that, I want to do so because I'm not going to buy the game again. That's not what I was going to do, but I'll do it if we hit a sub goal. Because then the sub goal paid for the game.
There you go. Yeah. Because I saw you say, Piplup. You can't. That's a lot. And
then I said I lost Piplup. It's because Piplup. I said I no longer have Piplup.
Okay, gotcha.
People in the chat was like, "Oh, that's clickbait," and I was like, "Kinda," but I no longer have Piplup. He's a Prinplup now.
Oh,
he's a Prinplup. That's not a Piplup.
That's funny. Yep.
And the thing, like when I wrote that title, that wasn't even the intent, but I was like, I mean, intent, impact. Like, it did end up being clickbait. But yeah, no, I don't have.
Yeah, what do you think so far?
It's Pokemon Diamond, like I came in knowing I wasn't going to reinvent the wheel. I was going to make certain things more, like less painless. I mean, more painless.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, more painless. But it still would like do the whole, since it's a fateful remake or whatever, some of the like archaic annoying stuff is going to be in it. Like the freaking store and the Pokemon Center being separated. Like it wouldn't be fateful if they didn't do that. But it's annoying because they did that.
Yep.
And then there's like other small annoyances like that. So
I wonder. So I've yet to get, like, Ashley plays Pokemon Go a good bit and likes Pokemon as a property, but hasn't gotten into / really tried any Pokemon games. I wonder if she'd be, other than, she played a little bit of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. She played the whole demo and was like, this is great. And then I got her the game for Christmas. And then she, I think, played up through the end of the demo again. And then that was it. So maybe not that one. I think she liked the concept of that and the story and stuff, but just really didn't enjoy or the game, like
because the gameplay is like super
the mystery dungeon part of it, which is pretty important to whole games. All that said, I wonder which of the Pokemon games on Switch now would be the one that would be most likely to get her in, because I don't think it would be, because even though Sword and Shield is still kind of basic,
I wouldn't.
It's not,
so. I think Let's Go is like lowest impact in terms of like,
I think she didn't really like, because I tried to show it to her and I don't think she was a big fan of the motion catching kind of stuff, and she doesn't play handheld.
All right, well then the best option is probably Diamond and Pearl then. That's
what I'm thinking. I think that's what it would. I think it would be Let's Go if it weren't for the catching mechanics stuff. Probably.
If she's like does not play handheld at all, then you gotta go Diamond and Pearl. Even though I think Diamond and Pearl are like, they're not nearly as low impact. Like Diamond and Pearl are still like, I would say they're like almost Sword and Shield. Like Sword and Shield have more to them and stuff, but Diamond and Pearl still have like a lot of the like mechanical stuff, and in terms of like how the battle system works, it's the same battle system as Sword and Shield.
Does it still show you, like in this one, does it show you like if stuff is super effective and stuff like that? Okay, cool.
That's to like battle the Pokemon. I don't know how that works because I don't pay attention to it. So like I don't know if you have to like discover the weakness, where it's like, oh, I hit that Pokemon with a psychic type attack, so I know that it's super effective, or if it's literally just, oh, you battled that Pokemon, so we know what type it is. I think it's
that one from I mean, I don't know for this, but for Sword and Shield, I think it was, have I seen this Pokemon before? But I don't know, could be wrong.
If I was a Pokemon fan that was a back in my day sort of Pokemon fan, I would shake my fist at that. I'd be punching the air right now. But
I think it
couldn't
really
care
is good
less.
for, I mean, it's one of those things where like it is good for new players because especially with, the amount of
The stuff like
types
the
in Gen
experience share is
1.
cool. Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about like just that mechanic? Yeah,
Oh,
for
that
sure.
mechanic. Yeah,
Yeah,
specifically.
definitely.
Like it's good for the new fans because, there's at this point, there's so many types that like everything interacts with everything in more complicated ways.
Yeah.
Just with adding literally, dark steel, dragon, or dark steel and fairy. And is that it? Is that the only 3 that have been added since Gen 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dark, fairy, and steel.
For whatever reason, adding just those 3, I feel like added a lot of extra interactions.
Yeah, because it compounds. It's like, because
right.
there's dual typing. So then you have to be like, okay, well, what if there's still dual types that have not been done before to this day? Crazy. And that, like, it's all math. It's like, because literally, it's like, okay, this one is, I gotta add a 2 times multiplier to this. I gotta do a 0.25 multiplier to this. It's like that sort of stuff. So if you don't understand like what that math is, like what is 2x and what's 0.5, and then it's hard to understand all that stuff in that whole like
but it's like
scissors.
For a new person it's really good to have that because it can be overwhelming, and for a veteran it's like if you know it already, so it being there is like, all right, cool, I knew that, and like might as well have it there. It's not like it's turning it off isn't unlike experience share, where I can see somebody being like, oh, I wanted to have not experience share or whatever.
I think like, it's the same. It's a different side to the same coin.
Yeah.
It's just like making everything more seamless, where it's like all that does is add more time to your experience. It doesn't make it any harder.
Right.
It just makes it less time.
Literally the only thing that having the toggle for experience share makes sense or whatever is specific challenge runs. Like that's it. That's all I can think of. And even then, like, I don't know what
exactly what Alex said. Experience share lets me play the game with more than just a team of 6. That's exactly how I've been playing this game.
Yep.
That's exactly how I've been playing. I'm from the get-go, I'm trying to complete my Pokedex. Because I'm like, all right, well, what Pokemon can I have on my team that need to evolve, and what levels do they evolve at? And like who needs friendship and stuff like that. Whereas before I would be forced to have one team because I would have to grind. Yeah. So it's like, I don't really want to have
I would not turn off experience share. Like I haven't picked up the game yet, but I will at some point. And at that, I will not be turning off experience share.
You can't,
because you can't.
It's not even an item. It's just something that is always on. Which again, I don't care, because I would have it on anyway, because I like having the option to like train all my Pokemon, not just one group of 6.
Yeah, it's true. Yep. So. Oh, interesting. So yeah, Mark said Sword was the first Pokemon game I've ever actually owned, and experience share was actually a major factor for me choosing to get it. It just makes the whole thing more seamless. Like
for sure.
Definitely. And it is funny going back to like, so yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I guess Gen 1, there was an item called Experience All that was the same concept, except for everybody would get 1/6. Like they would share the experience divvied up between them. And it was the just slowest and most annoying thing ever. Be like, they get 3 experience.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like,
okay,
what is the point of this?
Fine.
Whereas now it's like it's a sliding scale. It's like if the Pokemon was involved, it varies on a lot of different factors. Where it's like you get more experience if you're a lower level. You get more experience if you were actually in the battle. Like that sort of stuff. But everybody gets something.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad that you're, enjoying it for the most part. And
it's Pokemon. Yeah, but something I was saying on stream, and I'm still like, I'm mostly just playing it on stream. The only stuff that I'm doing like off stream is stuff like that, where I want to like evolve a Pokemon that I don't see myself like trying to use in like the Elite Four or whatever, right? I'll do that stuff off stream, but for the most part, I'm trying to like play through the game on stream. But I've been saying this whole time on stream, it's like this game sucks until I get to Amity Park, because then I can walk with my Pokemon. Then the game.
How far out is that?
It's the third gym. Well, it's like before the third gym. You get to Heart Home, and then that's where that Amity Park is. And then once you go there the first time, you unlock the ability to have.
It's Amity Square. Thank you very much. Amity Park is from Danny Phantom.
Same thing. It's a square
I,
park. Whatever.
I just looked up Amity Park and it showed Danny Phantom, and I was like, oh, well, that's fun.
Yeah, no,
yeah, nice. Yep.
That thing. I'm there. Like I'm at the town, but I didn't go to the square or whatever because I wanted to do it on stream.
Yeah.
So
nice. What's the like long-term goal for this game? Is it just like beat the game on stream, or I guess you mentioned doing the whole Pokedex? Is that?
Yeah, I'm going to beat the game on stream. I'm going to probably do the whole Pokedex. I'm going to shiny hunt.
Nice.
Same thing, Sword and Shield. Just different game, different Pokemon.
Yep. Nice.
And if we reach the sub goal, Nuzlocke. And I'm gonna like with Sword and Shield, like the difference between like how I'm approaching Nuzlocks in this game versus that game, I just did the Nuzlocke when I wanted to. But if we reach the sub goal, I'm going to keep trying to do the Nuzlocke until I beat it.
Yeah.
So that would be the difference there. National Dex, yeah, that too.
Nice. I forgot. I actually did play a bit more of one game. Very briefly, I played Mario Kart 64 yesterday. And rubber banding is a thing that exists.
Yes. Yep.
Like so much. It's just so funny because like there were times, like I know, especially true in like I think Super Mario Kart and stuff, and then in this one as well, I guess there were times where it's like, oh nice, I got a gold mushroom, and I'm like just go really fast and get way ahead, and then literally I'll turn around and then the person was like right behind me, like nothing ever happened, and I was like, what's the point of the gold mushroom for that? Silly game. What a time. That's all I have to say about that. I played it. The end. So you know,
it sure is N64.
And you know, could be that's the best game of the year, but you know, we'll find out this December at the Game of the Year Awards. Game Awards. It's not called Game of the Year Awards, just called Game Awards. Let's talk about those.
Oh yeah, true. I did say that I was going to do mine. I'm going to do my nominees on the show as we go through.
Okay,
I'm gonna do it because I didn't do it yet.
Oh, do you want to share your screen and then we'll talk through them?
Sure. Okay, hold on. Cool. I gotta go to the website. Did you do it?
I did indeed. I'll tell you which ones I did. For a good bunch of them, I was like, I don't care. I just I clicked on something.
All good. The last time, so I tried to do this exactly one time and it didn't let me. So I was like, I don't care. And I didn't do it. And I was like, wait, I can do this on the podcast. Let's do this. No, wait, hold on. Whatever, dude. Start voting. Okay. Here we are. Share screen. This one. Share. Nice. Here we are.
Look at that.
On the screen. Game of the year. This
Game
is the
of
only
the
one
year
that I played enough to care. You know, I played a little bit of Ratchet and Clank, but the game broke, so I can't give that Game of the year. Can't do that. Yep. Freaking It Takes Two. I wanted to play this, but
I did play that with Ashley. We didn't beat it, but we played probably like half of it, I guess, with Ashley. And it was good. Yeah. I mean, I voted Metroid Dread as well.
Psychonauts 2. I'll play this at some point. I have Game Pass, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Metroid Dread, good game. Game's cool. I want to beat that game. I'm decently far enough in it. But other stuff.
On this one, before we move on, what do you think actually wins? Like, we won't talk about this for all of them because who cares for some of them.
I think that there's a good chance that Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, or Metroid wins for slightly different reasons. I think Deathloop is like more of the like poster child, typically wins sort of thing, because it seems like they either like awarding it to like long running like franchises that are in that sort of genre, or they like giving it to like the new guy, you know. I think Resident Evil is like too long of a franchise that doesn't always like reach that like pinnacle, where
Mhm.
this game is probably this and 7 since 4 were the first games to like even be in that conversation
Right.
really. And this game I don't think really ever was in the conversation beyond like the meme of the vampire lady. Like the
Yeah.
game I hear is good, but it's not that. It's good, like it's one of those games.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, and I don't think
Yeah.
that that's what they usually try to give game of the year, unless there's no other game that fits that like the template, the
Yeah.
game of the year template. You know how
Hmm.
like Animal Crossing in 2020 was the game of the year because it was the game that
Yeah. Right.
the public consciousness cared about the most. But
Mhm.
it's not the game that they want to put on the Game Awards ad. They don't
Yeah.
want that in
Right.
the Hall of Fame of Game Award games. So yeah, I think that it's between Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank is sort of on that like Breath of the Wild kind of
Hmm.
like it's like
Mario Odyssey. I mean, Mario Odyssey was
it's one of
nominated. So
the
like,
only games that really takes advantage of the SSD and look at the
right.
graphics
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, yeah, so I could see
Honestly,
that.
with this, like, I've heard a bunch of people saying, like, I mean, awesome, like, it's probably not going to win, but awesome that Metroid Dread made it here. And I'm not that
Yeah, no,
unconfident that it could win. Like, I
yeah,
feel like
I could see
I
it winning.
yeah, especially compared to the other. If like God of War or something were on here, like a
Yeah, like
third
all Breath
person
of the
action,
Wild sort of. Yeah.
like adventure kind of game or whatever, then I'd be like, yeah, it's probably just going to that. But like
Mhm.
even Deathloop, even though it has a campaign and that, I don't know, probably maybe good or something like that, like it's a first person shooter and that feels like a one notch down compared to third person adventure game for Game
Yeah.
Awards purposes. Like in terms of the tiers, like nothing else feels like, yeah, I don't know. I think Metroid Dread just has a good enough chance.
This category usually like it's supposed to be like the game that like speaks for the industry and stuff like that, but it really just ends up being like the closest thing to
a
a
movie.
Breath of the Wild like video game,
Yeah, right.
like,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hopeful. But yeah, I mean, I think it's some good ones on there for sure.
best game direction: It Takes Two, Deathloop, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank.
I think I voted It Takes Two for this.
I think
Pretty
It
sure.
Takes Two. I could see It Takes Two. I can see an argument for that. I haven't seen enough of Psychonauts 2. I could see that also, like just based off what I know of it, I could see argument for it, but I haven't seen enough. So I'm voting It Takes Two because I've seen a decent amount of that game. I just haven't played it myself physically.
Yeah.
Let me this is like in the way. Next category. Best narrative. I can't even. I don't know. I didn't see these freaking narratives, dude.
This is even here is where I started kind of guessing. I was like, I guess It Takes Two, but like, I don't know any of the other ones story wise. So
I don't know. Can I skip? Let me skip.
Yeah, you can skip them.
I skipped. Best art direction. I mean,
for audio listeners, it's The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I voted
Ratchet
Kena.
and Clank.
But yeah, Ratchet and Clank also looks great.
Yeah, I'm from that. Best score in music. Why is Cyberpunk nominated for literally anything?
Yeah.
Can I give negative votes to something?
I mean, you can skip it if you don't have a preference on it. Honestly, I think more than ever, I don't have a preference on a lot of these ones.
Yeah, no, I'm skipping this one. But I just am upset that Cyberpunk's even on here for anything.
Yep. Mark said I'll sing the praises of The Artful Escape as much as I can. So apparently that one's good. I'll have to check it out. I don't even know anything.
I'm voting for it in the name of Mark. Vote. Next. You got 2 votes, Mark. You doubled up. All right, best audio design. I mean, this is.
I think I put Forza for this one just because, like, I don't know, some of those games do a good job.
The audio and Ratchet and Clank is good, so I'll vote that.
Nice.
The audio works. I can tell you that.
Best performance.
This is Life is Strange, and this is. I don't want to vote him just on principle, dude.
I don't even remember what the controversy is.
Literally, not a controversy or anything like that, but it's kind of cheating, dude. Like you're an actor. Like you like in movies and stuff.
Yeah, I feel you there. That makes sense. Deathloop, Resident Evil Village, Deathloop.
Is he Colt? Yeah, he's Colt. I'm voting for Colt.
Nice.
Because I watched Colton play that game. Actually, no. Well, I saw Colton play a little bit. I saw Wes play more of it than I saw Colton play. Next category.
Games for impact. I think I voted Before Your Eyes for this one. I don't know its impact specifically. I know that it had an interesting concept. Have you heard of that one at all?
No.
So you
the
hook
only
up
game in this category that I know of is this game, and I hear a lot of people like the story of this game and that it was meaningful and stuff. I saw the impact of this game, so I can vote for that one. Of Life is Strange.
Before Your Eyes is interesting because it's you hook up your webcam and you something like this. I could be getting it kind of wrong, but basically, like as long as you keep your eyes open, whatever's happening on screen happens, but then if you blink it'll move on to the next like scene or whatever, and something about that, it's interestingly done to where that becomes a really well done mechanic or something, but which sounds cool, but it's a PC game, so I'm not going to play it because I don't have Weeping Angels. That's already pretty much.
Best ongoing game. I swear to God, if I see them put Cyberpunk 27 in this game, in this category next year, I don't care how many patches it gets, I'm going to be very upset.
I put Final Fantasy 14 on behalf of Mitch because he's been playing it. And
my whole timeline is always talking about Final Fantasy 14, so I'm voting for that.
Nice. Friendship.
Best indie. What the heck just happened there? Freaking 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kana, and Loop Hero. I want to try Death's Door because that's coming to Switch.
It is, yeah.
Inscription, everybody's saying to try Inscription.
Oh yeah, that's the one I have seen some. Is that on Switch?
I don't think so, because it's a Devolver Digital game. Oh, and I don't think I got an email about that. And they emailed me about all the Switch games.
Is it only on? Yeah, it's just on Steam right now.
Yeah, so
interesting.
Tentatively, I would vote Death's Door, but I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. So next category. Best mobile game. I don't think I've heard of any of these except for Genshin. Wow, Pokemon Unite. Never mind, that's on there.
There you go.
I'll vote for Pokemon Unite because I like that game, except for when I don't. But it's not really the game's fault. It's the people that are playing the game that make me not like the game.
Yeah.
Best community support. I mean,
this is the kind of thing where I couldn't even know. Like, even if the game is theoretically great.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I gotta vote for Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite. But it's hard to argue that Fortnite, like that game, isn't well supported. It's very hard to argue that.
Yep.
Innovation and accessibility. I couldn't say. I don't know. What did they do?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know for these.
I played Ratchet and Clank. I don't know what like noteworthy accessibility thing that they did.
I mean, I guess that's the kind of thing where you wouldn't know about it unless you had to use it, I suppose. So, but yeah, for some of these, I definitely hadn't heard of anything. So I don't know.
Best VR/AR. I didn't play any of these in VR or AR, so guys, skip. Best action game.
Okay, so now that we're getting into some like specific genre ones or whatever, let's talk about if there's any Nintendo games specifically that we feel like got not snubbed necessarily, like that's a strong word, but just like missed, because like I feel like Metroid Dread could have easily showed up in here, especially over, I don't know, I haven't played Far Cry 6.
Back 4 Blood, like why is Back 4 Blood in here?
Yep,
put Metroid in that.
Also, what is Chivalry 2?
I don't know. I was going to say that too, but
yeah, I mean, could be a great game, but I haven't even heard of it.
Nah, game sucks. I'm saying it. I don't know anything about the game, but I'm gonna say it sucks. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. I'm
Mark
voting
said
Deathloop.
Mario Golf Super Rush snubbed for best action game.
Yo,
Shake the head.
facts. That's a fact. Best action adventure. This is a
There you
stupid
go.
category. This category is
I
dumb. Why
know.
did it go back? What the heck? Did you just see that?
I did. I thought you did that. Oh,
No. My mouse was over here. But yeah, no. Metroid Dread.
nice. I've heard of that one.
Next. I heard of that game.
Best role playing.
Why is Cyberpunk here?
Alec, among other people, was a little mad about this one because
It did it again.
It did do it again. That was weird.
Okay,
Why is it Bravely Default there? And
I
also,
forgot that game came out.
Monster Hunter Rise,
and I purchased
great
that
and all.
game.
Okay, Monster Hunter Rise probably should have been in one of the best action game slots, not in best role playing game, because it's not a role. I mean, kind of, but like
it's like its
barely.
own thing, but it's kind of a role playing game too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't play Shin Megami Tensei 5. I played Monster Hunter Rise. It's a fun game until it's not,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going Monster Hunter Rise.
There you go.
I didn't play Shin Megami Tensei.
No. I'm seeing stuff about it and I'm still interested, but
fix your site, Jeff Keighley. Best fighting game, Demon Slayer. Lee likes that game.
Nice.
Guilty Gear. A lot of people like that game. Melty Blood. I know people like that game, but Nick All-Star Brawl. Absolutely not. Virtual Fighter. I'm voting Guilty Gear Strive.
Nice.
Because I see the community behind that game. Game looks cool. I would play that game if I knew more people that play the game.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, he said Guilty Gear. Let's go. So you got at least one.
That's a fact.
It doesn't say best family game. It just says best family. So vote for the best family. Is it the WarioWare family?
I think the Pokemon Snap family is the best family.
Yeah. Honestly, let's see. There was something that I felt like should have shown up in here.
Hold on. We didn't read the categories for everything else, but It Takes Two, Mario stuff, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together. I'm voting New Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. I mean, and this category is always a bit funny too, because like, is it the best?
It's just the Nintendo category.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like the best of these games is a different thing from like best game for the whole family to play together. Usually, I don't think it actually means for the whole family. But it's just like age appropriate or like, family friendly games. I think is really what it should be. In which case, definitely New Pokemon Snap. But if it's asking like games for everyone to play together, then like probably Mario Party Superstars or any of the co-op ones or something like that. But yeah, I voted New Pokemon Snap too, I'm pretty sure.
Best sim/strategy. This is the nerd game category. I didn't play any of these. Well, actually, I don't know what playing these games really entails. I saw a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that game looks cool. So I'm voting for that. Next. Best sports/racing. Why is that? Why are they the same thing? Forza Horizon. I'm voting for that. Did you vote Hot Wheels Unleashed? Oh no, category F1 2021, FIFA 2022, Forza Horizon 5, freaking Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic.
I will say, so I voted for Forza Horizon 5, even though I haven't played it or whatever, but I hear good things. Riders Republic looks pretty neat from the things that I've seen. I saw Blessing play it a bunch. And I watched him streaming it for like a couple of minutes while I was lurking, and seems pretty cool. And Hot Wheels Unleashed is on sale right now, so like I might end up getting that at some point.
I thought you were gonna buy a game. That was like one of the games. I was like, and I remember because I was like, why?
Yep.
Next, best multiplayer. It did it again. Back 4 Blood, Knockout City. I'm voting Knockout City. Nice. It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and freaking what is
Valheim?
This? Valheim. Yeah. I'm voting Knockout City. Game's cool. Nice. Dodgeball's cool. Game's good. Next. I don't know any of these people.
And now we're
it's not
just going to
true. I
press
know
skip
who
a bunch.
Dream is, but
I also know who Dream is. I'm very surprised that Dream's showing up here considering,
the
but like, I guess
controversy,
it's not, maybe it's not that controversial in the grand scheme of like, this.
It wasn't like cancel him. He's a terrible person sort of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I don't care about this category. Next.
Yep.
Best debut indie. The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Kana, Sable, and Valheim. I'm going to. This one's for Mark. Moving on. Most anticipated game. Elden Ring. Don't care. God of War Ragnarok. Care a little bit. Horizon Forbidden West. Care moderately more than that. Starfield. Don't care. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild TM. I'm voting for that. Next.
It's funny. I suspect that Elden Ring's going to win that, even though like it's just the closest to release. So I think that's a thing too. I mean, people are excited about it for sure. But yeah, I've seen a little bit for that game and it looks fun. I may pick it up one day or something.
It looks like a very not me game other than the like challenge of it,
right?
Like the whole Dark Souls, like I like games like that, but I don't care about the like high fantasy.
Yeah, I mean it is, from what people said, it seems like open worlds in the vein of more Breath of the Wild than I don't know, Assassin's Creed or something like that. So that's neat, but we'll see.
The thing about Breath of the Wild is like I don't ever have to pay attention to anything that's like any of the like high fantasy aspects of it, because most of the characters don't talk.
Yeah.
The story is largely optional, like, so it
seems like this one's still more in that vein from the bits that I've seen, that it's more about exploration and interacting with the world and killing things and that kind of stuff.
So
then it is
the game will open up with like back in the age of yore, back in Yasha.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe.
Dragon of Mixlefu attacked for the ring. And like
and that's funny because it's surprising that it'd be like that. That it wouldn't be more story based if I'm right, because it is the dude from Game of Thrones. So like, seems like he would try to throw stuff in, but maybe he's, into like the just general lore kind of stuff more than, we'll see. I don't even know. Then again, FromSoft games are pretty like light on exposition, deep on lore kind of a thing, like sort of like Metroid.
Yeah.
So
Bloodborne was kind of like that. It still is kind of still pretty like it did that. It did the like freaking best esports game: Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Global Offense. I didn't even know that had a subtitle. Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant. I don't care.
Yep.
Next. Best esports athlete. I know none of these people. Next.
I just voted for the one that I was like, he seems nice.
Oh my God. I was about to say, do you know who he is?
Nope, not at all.
Best team. If I know any of these teams, I'm voting for them. I don't.
There you go.
Next. Where's Team Liquid? I know them. Where's TSM at? But anyway. Best esports coach. Do I know any of these people? Absolutely not. Skip. Best esports event.
And that's it. I will say I'm glad that
we're done.
Like the content creator stuff, esports stuff. I'm glad that that's kind of like back to being like in the back of the pack as opposed to being like front and center. I feel like when it first got added, it was like, category number 4, a bunch of esports things. And I was like, oh, but we don't.
I think it's kind of like traditional award show tactic where it's like you get people with reach involved in your show, like they're invested because they're like they have a stake in it, literally.
Literally, they eat steaks when they're there.
They get a steak if they win.
I could use some steak.
That's how it works. That's the rule. Then win best esports coach.
Yeah, so last question of all that stuff. Do we feel like there were specific games that should have showed up in more things and didn't. I mean, I feel like Metroid Dread could have showed up in a couple more, but also maybe not that much more. I think it could get Game of the Year. But
where's Pokemon Snap? Get that Game of the Year, dude.
That's right.
You can freaking throw an apple at Meganium. We can. How many times can you throw an apple at Meganium in Cyberpunk 2077? Not a single time.
Not even one. With all the glitches that exist, you can't even
one throw of those an apple through Meganium in Cyberpunk 2077.
What a shame. So yeah, there you go. Game Awards should be an interesting time. That'll be in what? 2.5 weeks? 3 weeks. Yeah. December 9th.
Yeah, so, I don't care about the nominees. I don't watch the Game Awards for the award part of it at all.
No,
because it's usually just like the committee, like it's the type of games that they play that gets nominated, and that's like,
and like people vote, but I think we've seen some numbers before. It's like 10% of it. They like votes.
It's like they're transparent about the fact that the votes don't really matter that much,
right?
Like, they're like not weighted nearly as much as the Insiders Club on that,
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley's vote means way more than our votes combined.
I never know with that kind of thing, like which I would prefer. I think I do like that there is other times there's been a like popular vote side thing, like, and which was just, I
think
the fans,
I would care more about, like, I think the what is it, like the BAFTAs or something like that, or maybe it's the DICE Awards. I think it's the DICE Awards that are like voted on by devs. That I think is interesting.
That's
developers voting on what the best games is seems infinitely more cool than like, because it's not even just like it's like it's journalists and it's influencers. It's like also people like us. It's like people that are friends with Jeff Keighley mostly that are like on this committee, and I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like. And I say that knowing some of the people that have voted on these awards. I'm like, yeah, you like those games or whatever, and that's cool. But I don't think that speaks to the whole of the industry. And when I say industry, I don't even mean people working in it. I mean like the industry holistically.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really care about.
I mean, and the whole thing is kind of is a little flawed to begin with. Just in that there's. Can you equivocally or like, can you say just what like the game of the year is? And it's so much more of a subjective thing anyway.
A lot of I guarantee you, even the people that voted on these were the same. It was the same thing as what we just did. Where it's like, I didn't play this. I barely even know what this game is. Like, so it's like they vote for whatever. It's like, oh, I saw that game on an ad before. I didn't play it, but I thought about playing it, so I'm voting for that. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
but I think the awards themselves are cool because. Or like watching the awards themselves for the awards is cool because I like doing that with Bob, where it's like, oh, this game's probably going to win. Like, the inside baseball of the inside baseball. Like, who knows the industry type better? Like that sort of situation.
Yeah.
But like having any sort of like investment in it from like, I like this game and I want it to win. That part is like, I'm detached from that. I don't really.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for me, the Metroid winning, I think, is just a benefit to Metroid in and of itself, and that's a fun.
It'd be very cool if Metroid win.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy to see that.
Yep. So yeah, and hopefully we get the whole Metroid trailers at the Game Awards. We'll see, but in general, it's fun to watch reveals and stuff. Even though more often than not, the ones that get revealed, they're 95%. It's like watching a Bethesda E3 where I'm like, maybe I'll care about one of these, but mostly I don't. So there's a lot of that, or actually Ubisoft is probably more on point because I'll very care about one of them.
Yes, like, exactly.
Mario plus Rabbids or something. And then I don't care one iota about all the Tom Clancy games.
Yeah.
Like all of the different, like The Division and Tom Clancy and Far Cry and like just a bunch of different shooter games and stuff that I'm like, who cares? But yeah, hopefully we'll get, a 5% that does appeal to us will be a great 5%.
It's true.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And maybe one of those trailers is going to be for Kirby in the Forgotten Land, because that seems to be coming out.
I hope not. That'll
sometime soonish.
And if that's like the Nintendo thing that they bring to the show, I'm gonna be mad. Because we know about that already. Tell me new stuff. But anyway, story.
Yeah, but so basically it's just Stealth pointed out on Twitter that that Kirby in the Forgotten Land was rated by the ESRB today, which means the game is likely already finished or close to it. We know it's coming out in spring, and it just sounds like this means,
and it's like it's Nintendo spring.
So yeah, right.
That just means Q1 of the year.
Yep. So hopefully that means yeah, I mean, could very well be like Kirby Star Allies was March 29th of its respective year, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So the last
I remember that because that
March,
it was literally like the month that I became a brand ambassador, and I didn't ask for that game intentionally because I was like, I don't want anybody to like think that like what, and it was like before I played the game. But I didn't want to ask for it because I didn't like, if I ended up liking it, I didn't want them to think that was why I liked it. And if I didn't like it, then you know, like that whole situation. But that was just for that game specifically, because I already like posted opinions about it beforehand. So I didn't want to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I didn't care.
It's true. So yeah, hopefully the game, you know, comes out pretty soon. Stuff. I'm down. I'm very excited about that one specifically.
How good it is, and I'm also curious to see if I'm right about my theory that it's like a Super Mario 3D world sort of thing.
I think you are probably. There might be some sections that are a little bit more open or something.
It feels like
Super Mario 3D World is the same way.
Looking at that trailer feels like the No Way Home trailer, where it's like the composition is like, it looks like you're trying to fit somebody else in. Like,
yeah. Man, that's I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about it in the Marvel section.
We totally will. Yeah. But yeah, Kirby coming soon. There you go. That's it. Very short news blurb, but there it is. Also, kind of random, but I didn't even read the article. I just saw the headline. I was like, oh, we'll talk about it on here. The GameCube maybe was going to be not purple. And basically, Nintendo of America was worried about it being purple and thought that no one was going to like it or something like that. So here's the actual quote.
Indigo.
Ugh, you're so right. Is it? I don't even know what indigo.
Indigo is like, I think indigo is more blue than it's purple.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay, but I'm seeing it kind of both ways. So, yeah.
I don't know. What does the color will say?
That's the real question. Okay, so here's the quote while you look up colors for yourself, because you're a fourth grader. Fourth graders, no, like kindergarten, right?
That is not a fourth grader thing. It's because I went to school partially for graphic design.
All right, so here we go. As a part of an interview with VGC in celebration of the console's 20th anniversary, former VP of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Perrin Kaplan, mentions that
it's blue.
There it is.
But I mean, kind of purple is too. So.
Yeah. He mentioned that the team on its side went to Japan headquarters and suggested that the purple was not the best to start with for the GameCube. She added that it just didn't feel masculine. Ultimately, as we know,
pack her up.
As we know, Nintendo ended up sticking with purple for the GameCube. So the full quote is, we actually suggested the purple was not the best to start with, and Japan said, no, we're going to use that. Then we pushed for black and silver because I think in the US, nobody had really ever done purple color before. It wasn't that you couldn't bring out hardware that was a different color. It was just a very female looking color. It just didn't feel masculine, I think. I remember us being very nervous at E3 when we were going to get bad press purely based on the color. Somebody else afterwards said, somebody, who's this? Beth Lilwin, NOA's former director of corporate communications, also chimed in. She mentioned that game systems tended to have a black color around the GameCube days, and the company was always combating what our competitors at Sony and Microsoft were doing from a PR perspective, and having this purple box didn't quite help there.
I mean, I just don't like the phrasing. They're not wrong. I don't like the whole thing of like it being like, I don't want our box to not look masculine enough.
Yeah.
Like, that part of it is stupid. But they're not wrong, because black consoles do usually sell the most. Like the Wii kind of changed that a little bit, but Even the
Yeah, that's a
Wii
good
got
point.
a big boost when it was like, we have a black one now. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's true, but dumb.
It'd be interesting to go back with hindsight now to the GameCube days and just like
What if
relive
that
some of
was
those conversations.
that
And
was the thing that made it not sell 155 million units or whatever?
yeah,
It's like because it was purple or
if it
whatever.
had been black. Honestly, it's funny for me to think back to the GameCube days because like I wasn't in touch with anything, and all I knew was me and my 3 friends that I played video games with. We were all very excited about the GameCube, and I was super disappointed that I had to move to the States where we then couldn't get one for a little while and blah blah blah. And like, so yeah, when I later in life found out the GameCube was not a particularly strong seller for Nintendo and stuff, and was kind of a commercial failure ish, then I was like pretty baffled because in my mind, with my limited perspective of me and my friends really wanted one, seemed like it had
I mean, it's kind
probably
of
done
like
great.
how Nintendo fans view a lot of Nintendo IP, where it's like you look at like Zelda and they're like, yo, Zelda's like the biggest thing in the world. And it was very not. I mean, it's up there now with Breath of the Wild, but
yeah, right.
Up until then, it was not. And even like a more like extreme, like big contrast is stuff like Metroid. Like Nintendo fans think
maybe even the
Metroid
most being Donkey Kong, because I feel like that's one where like everybody knows Donkey Kong, but like people just don't really buy Donkey Kong games that much. So
I mean, Donkey Kong games don't sell poorly.
No, but yeah,
but they're not. They're definitely not like he's not. Donkey Kong games aren't as big as you would think they are because they were like the first thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like people look at Mario, like Mario is the first thing, and technically that's also true. But the game was called Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at some Donkey Kong Country games. I mean, yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns on Wii. That was
they
top
usually
selling
sell
one,
in the like 5 to like 8 million range, which is like decent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not some of the early days, especially we're doing pretty good. I mean, like Tropical Freeze was 2 million, but that was on the Wii, and then 3 million on the Switch. And that's a port. Oh, sorry. Yes. On the Wii U, and so yeah, honestly, especially so looking at Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, it sold 6.5 million, and that was in 2010 when like the Wii was kind of on its way out.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good for that era.
Yeah, Donkey Kong sells.
Surprising that
Donkey Kong doesn't sell poorly, but it definitely doesn't sell as well as you would think, given the place that Donkey Kong has in gaming history.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's surprising about it is really just how little Nintendo puts into Donkey Kong games. Not little like money or like, but just there's just not Donkey Kong games very often. Like he's a spin-off Mario character at this point rather than being his own thing more often
rather than
not.
Mario being the spin-off.
Yeah, exactly. Donkey Kong Country Returns on investment, said Mark. That's I mean, Nintendo, right? So there's that. Yeah. Moving along. This is your thing. So I don't know really anything about this other than I saw you tweet it. So tell us more.
True. Nintendo is partnering with Panda Global, who is a grassroots Smash Brothers mostly esports org, to do Smash Brothers tournament circuit. And this is noteworthy because Nintendo usually, I mean, they do like Smash Ultimate tournaments, and they're like scuffed in the sense that like they're like items on, and like sometimes they're 4 players, and like like that whole situation. But also and mostly because it also includes Melee. They put hashtag Smash Bros Melee in their tweet, which is like what? So I think that this is them dipping their toe in the water of like actually being involved, because like I talk about it all the time where it's like Nintendo is like progressively like caring more and more about esports, because like how could you not care about esports in the year of our, I mean the year of our 2021 2022 coming into and I think that there's because again another thing that I talk about all the time where it's like Smash Ultimate specifically could be the biggest esport in the world free. No competition, absolutely none, not even
Yeah.
close. But they don't have the backing that every single other esport has. Like on the base level, you have other esports being streamed by their developers, like official channels and stuff like that. The average is the developer invests in prize pools and like provides setups and promotes the tournaments and stuff like that. Nintendo doesn't really do any of that, and you still have like Smash Ultimate tournaments every week averaging like 70 to 100,000 concurrents just from the work of fans of the game.
Yeah, right.
So it's like if you see that type of like support and that many eyeballs on the game just from fans of the game that already know about the competitive scene, which is like a hurdle in and of itself to figure out about, because again, it's not promoted by the person that made the video game. Imagine if it was promoted by the developers of the video game.
Yeah.
So this is like a interesting thing to see. I want to see how what all this means, because I'm pretty sure that like Panda Global wouldn't have signed on if they didn't have a good amount of input in like what the rule set would be and where these tournaments are going to be held and
what's their background before, like, I mean, or not their background, but like their tenure, I guess. Panda Global.
So
like, were you familiar with them before this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're like one of the biggest Smash orgs.
Gotcha.
Like
nice.
on the weekly basis with Smash tournaments and stuff like that. Their players, they usually have at least 2 players in the top 8 of Smash Ultimate tournaments, and usually 1 or 2 sometimes, and top 8 of Melee. They have their own like content creation situation going on. They make videos daily of like different, Smash Brothers stuff, of like going from either it's casual stuff of like what character can clear the battlefront thing, like that. Like, I mean, Battlefield, like different like gimmicky videos like that, to like dissecting and analyzing tournament sets and like talking about like international metas and that sort of stuff. And their videos usually do pretty well for something as niche as that. Like their videos average 100K plus on like for daily videos, right? Nice. And beyond that, they also like Panda Global is like more than just like the actual like playing the game side of it. They also have part of their company that's called PG Stats, and that like basically compiles all of the like player specific stuff of like this player's ranked here in the world based on their results in these tournaments, and these are their matchups against this character, and this is the achievements that they did because they beat this many players with this character in this amount of time, taking this many stocks, and like they go deep.
Man, yeah, that's crazy.
with like the player analysis on that. So Panda Global, they know their stuff, they're legit. It's cool to see Nintendo partner with them, and I want to see what the details are and how long this is going to last, because they do say specifically a short series, so that tells me that this is Nintendo being like, all right, we'll give you a chance. Like, let's see what this does.
What do you think? I mean, so at this point, you think probably Nintendo is the one to create the prize pool, I would guess, right? And then
I think that Nintendo will probably invest in the prize pool. I don't think they're going to completely provide it.
So it would be people paying to get in, and then
it'd be like people or like paying to get in the tournament. Panda might put in for the prize pool, and Nintendo will probably put in for the prize pool.
Gotcha. And then does Panda make any like any kind of ticket sales or something like that to be able to subsidize?
They'd probably make money on the like, because there's like usually spectator passes, and there's like the venue fees for people that are playing in the game and stuff like that.
Right.
So they'll probably make it on the back end of that, and then I don't know, they'll probably like co-stream it. Like Panda will probably stream it on their channel, and then Nintendo, I'd assume, would stream it on their channels, like on their Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and so on and so forth.
That'll be interesting to see. I mean, like what the prize pool ends up being like or whatever, because it seems like that's one of the biggest things holding back Smash. Being
because it's easy to have a big scene when people see in Fortnite that you can get 30th place and make $1 million.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Oh, do we know when we find out more about it? Just 2022, I guess.
From people that I know that are part of Panda, like I watched some videos from them. They said that we'll probably hear more about it later this year, like before next year, but we'll know full details next year. Oh, and another part of that makes this interesting is Panda was working on a controller for Smash specifically.
Interesting.
So I don't know if this partnership has anything to do with that too.
What do you think it'll be? I mean, do you think it's just a modded GameCube controller kind of a thing, like the ones that you guys have?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. It would be interesting to see because it would have to, for them to like make like the most optimal controller for Smash, it would probably have to be a GameCube controller on the inside at least, because GameCube controllers have the least amount of input delay when playing in Smash by like 4 frames or something.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the remake GameCube controllers, like the ones made nowadays for Switch that have digital triggers and stuff, do they still have the travel of
what do you mean you're like talking about like the third party, like the Power A and all that stuff?
Yeah, like the officially licensed Smash ones that come out now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those, not the one. So they had the like when Smash 4 and Ultimate 2, when those came out, they had like the Smash logo with the fireball and that. Like those are just straight up GameCube controllers. But like the Power
even with
A
like analog triggers and stuff,
they're just straight up GameCube controllers. And then they have an adapter where you can plug in any GameCube controller into the Switch through the USB.
Right.
But these controllers, and that's what these controllers would have to be, unless Nintendo is directly working with them to like make it so that whatever controller they make benefits from the same amount of input delay that the GameCube controllers already have. So that's why I'm also interested that they picked them specifically, that also has this controller in the works.
Yeah. So very interesting. I mean, fun to see that Nintendo's like, now that Smash DLC is all done, like now they're doubling down.
That they're still working on it.
Yeah, that's
and this is another I told you so moment, because they're like people were saying, no, I think they closed the door, like they like turn the lights off, nobody's in that studio anymore, and I'm like, nah, I highly doubt that it works that way.
Yeah, man, what a time. Well, cool. Yeah, I mean, that'll be fun to see kind of how that plays out. On the opposite side of that, people doing, I mean, turning out better maybe now that things are being resolved. But GTA, I don't have much to say about this. GTA Trilogy is apparently really, really, really bad. But they had done the whole Nintendo with Pikmin 3 on the Wii U eShop thing, where they took it down so that they could then sell the new version. But like Nintendo did with Pikmin 3 on the Wii U eShop, they put it back up because the new one, in this case, the new one is not turning out great and needs some updates. But they've announced that updates are coming. So neat. I've never played GTA and have zero intentions of playing it at any point in time.
No interest in playing the trilogy. I was talking about, somebody asked me about this on stream if I plan to play that, and I'd never, like, GTA, I've played GTA games, but I always played them like just doing dumb stuff, like being like, I wonder if I can drive the car through this, or I wonder what happens if you punch this dude and if he gets mad and punches somebody else instead, like doing all that. Not like, what's the next mission on my, where's the waypoints at on the map? I never played it like that ever.
What's funny, I wonder if the way that doing the silly stuff in these days when like people, the internet is so prevalent and stuff, like, does that lose its luster some because like other people, you can kind of just find out, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
You mean like people playing it like casually like that?
I
doubt it, because it's like Breath of the Wild's like that, where the internet finds out a lot of stuff. I think that more often than not, with that sort of thing, that just makes you want to play it like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh shoot, you can do that. I'm trying that, like.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, especially unless it's like crazy complicated thing, like speedrun strats, like that's, yes, technically you can see that you could do stuff, but it's hard and I don't want to work on doing that. But no, the easy stuff, like, oh, you can mount a bear if you want. Like, I remember when I found that out, I I think I did try without knowing that you could mount a deer. I was like, let's just see if this can happen. Where's the bear? I saw some video from Nintendo Life or whatever, and they're like, by the way, you can ride a bear. And I'm like, I'm going to ride a bear. I don't care what it takes. And that was I think the first screenshot on my Switch was of me riding a bear in Breath of the Wild. But no, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's fun seeing those kinds of things and then doing that afterwards.
Yeah, but
not when the game's broken, I guess.
Yeah, when the game doesn't work, who cares? But I mean, even then, I never really cared about this game, about the trilogy. I think it's cool to have Grand Theft Auto on the Switch. Like that's it's a cool box to check. But beyond that, I don't really care.
Yep. It's true. But if that's not the game for you, maybe some of these other games are going to be for you. And this is the point where I share my screen. And I don't know the best way to do this. Maybe this isn't the best way, but Black Friday's coming out. Actually, I'm not going to share my screen yet. Black Friday's coming up, and there's a bunch of games out. So one of the ways that we could do this is, whatever. We'll do that. It'll be fine. I pulled up Deku deals, which if everybody doesn't use Deku deals already, just go use it sometimes. As you can see, as you can't see, I'm not logged in on this computer, I guess. Let me log in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to log in because I want to see which ones are on my wish list as well. Okay, cool. Now I'll share my screen. This is great podcasting material. Everybody loves this. This is your favorite thing. You've never seen a better podcast than this right here. I say unto you. Okay, here we go. So now you can see I've got some in my collection and also have some other ones that are on like my wish list and stuff.
Wait, but what's the point of tracking the price of games that you already have?
There's none. It's just actually I could take out excluded ones in my collection. This is just an easy place for me to just in general track my collection, not necessarily for the sales purposes, just for like the.
Isn't there that GG place? There's like an app for that.
I want to say I downloaded that, and then I probably have my collection in several different places because I'm that variety of.
You
nerd.
like spreadsheets.
I do like spreadsheets. I also, if I had my other computer pulled up, I would show you that spreadsheet. I just need to put it on Google Sheets. That's what I need to do because it's just in my just on my computer in Excel, but that's not convenient because I can only pull it up from this one computer, and I don't have Excel on my Mac, but I do have Google Sheets. So. I figured we can just kind of look at some of these, point out any ones that if anybody is looking for recommendations, we can give them and say like, that's a good price for this game. You should get it. So, we'll go through moderately quickly, whatever. But so like, yeah, just you feel free to say
$15 for sure. Definitely get that. Potentially get it more than once. If you have a Switch, get it on Switch. If you have a next-gen console, get it on Switch and also that next-gen console. It's a very good game to play cross-save wise. It's very good.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I had cross-save specifically.
Yes, that is literally, if you have a Switch and a next-gen console, that is the only reason why I would recommend this game. Because like other than that, just play Breath of the Wild. But like if you have a next-gen console, it's another Breath of the Wild, but it looks prettier on a technical level, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I had a good time with it for sure. It gets a little bit repetitive, I feel like, but it's just fun to mess around with and good combat and all that. So that's fun. Monster Hunter Rise for $30. I mean, that's a great price for, that's kind of binary. If you're into the concept of Monster Hunter, or if you want to try it out, $30 is a good.
That's like the type of game that like, I wish that Immortals Phoenix Rising and Monster Hunter Rise's prices were like switched because like, if you could buy like this game for 4 people for the price of buying the game like once, then it's an easy sell because then it's like, us 4 friends can play this game. I'll buy it for all 4 of us and we can play the game, And Immortals Phoenix Rising, the reason why I think that it's a good purchase is because like if you buy it twice and you have it on like a next gen console and on Switch, it's a good experience. So that would be cool, but.
For what it's worth, I only played it on Switch and I thought it was fine, but obviously it looks better. Like it did a good job of, I think when they built it, they targeted Switch first and then develed past that.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Stuff, which is
it
good.
looks fine for sure.
But
I'm just saying, like, it's like a cooler, like it's more of a reason to buy it if you have a next gen console, because if you just have a Switch, you played Breath of the Wild already, and it's just a worse Breath of the Wild. But if you have like a next gen console, there's a big chance that like you play your next gen console more than you play your Switch, because that's just how most people play. Like usually Switch is the secondary console. So people are usually used to like they have like the whole thing where it's like, oh, it's jarring because I see Jaggies gasp. And on this game, you don't got to see Jaggies when you don't want
Jaggies.
to. Next gen game or whatever.
There you go.
But yeah, both of those games, sure.
The next one we can't recommend until
absolutely not.
Bobby
Do not buy
Kotick.
game. Don't buy it.
Kotick. I don't know.
Company sucks. Who cares?
Yeah. Once he's out of there, we'll talk again. We'll regroup.
We'll revisit it later. Company sucks though.
Yeah. Mario Plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think it's great.
Too
for $15.
This game's gonna go and sell for $1 soon.
I mean, honestly, though, this game, if we look at here, let's take what's the historical low for this one? It's like $7 or something.
Game goes on sale all the time.
Yeah. This like you can wait for a lower sale for sure. Lowest it's been, where's that at? Show me the price. $9.99.
Yeah, buy it for that. Buy it for $9.99.
But that's at $15. I mean, still a good price and a good game too. So but yeah, I think you can get it with the DLC. Like probably that's around here somewhere too for pretty cheap. We got to go through some of these faster. South Park, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't.
Mario Odyssey, $35. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it can be lower sometimes, but that's if you haven't played it already, that's a great price for that.
For Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. You just skipping through some of these other ones.
Don't care about that. Don't care.
Spyro Reignited Trilogy for $20.
That game's fine.
Oh wait, is that Activision? I can't remember.
True, that is Activision. Never mind. Don't buy the video game. I forgot about that.
Civ 6. This is the one I keep thinking about getting this, but it's just going to become another like it would be like Animal Crossing, where it's like that would be all I played for a while. And it's just like, what's the point? But it's $10, and that's if you're at all interested in sim type games, there it is.
If you're a nerd, you probably got $10.
Yeah. I just checked my my gold coins balance and it's $10. I have $10.29 on there. So I could buy it with just gold coins and that'd be great. Yeah, BioShock, blah, blah, blah. It's been cheaper than that before. So, whatever.
Breath of the Wild for $40.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Breath of the Wild, if it was $60, I would tell you to buy it. So $40, buy it.
Yeah. No, it's so good. Yeah,
there's not really anything on here I mean, there like these games, there is this sort of thing that like if you want it, that you want it, it's on sale. Cool, like
that's the thing. Okay, so here's one that I'm contemplating getting Cruise and Blast because it's $25, and that's actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I have $20 eShop credit too, so I'm gonna do it right now.
There you go.
Why not? I've been thinking about getting this one just as like a silly old time, and I'll do it after stream. Not stream. This is a podcast and stream, kind of a little bit of
a stream, a little bit of a stream. Sort of.
All right. I don't have any more things to say on Black Friday things. I don't know the best method for doing these, so for like going through the best things, but there's just a lot of games for good prices, so go buy them or something.
True.
Says me, who hasn't bought a new game in a hot minute because I'm still trying to play through the old one. So there it is. All right, that's everything for the news, unless I missed anything in the news, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So now we've got comments from your video. Any thoughts on your video before we get into the comments?
Hold on. What's my video? I didn't think. It was
Mario.
Mario's cool. Mario Odyssey came out a dog's year ago. We need another one.
There you go. It's true. A dog's year. True. Is that?
You never heard Bob say that?
No, I don't think so. How long
Bob says that all the time. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that Bob says it all the time, and I don't really understand it because, like, technically, a dog's year would be shorter. Like, because I'm X amount of years in dog years or whatever, right? And the number's higher because dog years are shorter than human years. But I don't know. Bob's dumb. So.
Maybe just Bob knows something we don't know. Could be.
I doubt that because the aforementioned statement of Bob being dumb.
Oh, I see. Science, of course. Yes. Well, there you go. Cool. Yeah, Mario. It's good. We should get a new one. Let's read some comments here. Mark Burrage, I don't know, said, really good analysis. Always enjoy what Nintendo do with Mario. It's probably my most guaranteed franchise in terms of getting 20 plus hours of genuine fun.
It's true. Mario's super consistent in that way. I'm at least putting 20 hours in Mario.
Yeah, you love Mario 64.
The game sucks, but in 1996 or 7 or whatever, game was great.
That's true.
But now, game sucks.
Unless it's really good, which you might have forgotten about.
It's not. Game sucks.
No, there it is. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Mario's just great all around, and especially now, like they've worked out any of the kinks, like because Super Mario 64 definitely
doesn't suck.
Super Mario 64 definitely has some jank, and Super Mario Sunshine has less jank but different kinds of jank. But they were still figuring it out, and then like now we've gotten to the point where
they got it, they get it now. They're like, oh, okay, this is how we make a video game in a 3D space
with all of the things, because Super Mario Galaxy had it was like linear level design, and they control the camera and stuff like that for the most part, so it didn't have the opportunity to have quite as much jank because they worked around it. But
although now I would argue that having a camera that they controlled and it not being jank is more impressive than being able to control the camera and the camera being jank.
I can see that. So yeah, good games. Promise Ozowulu said, I hope co-op Mario plays like It Takes Two.
I thought this was interesting because I think that this would be like a controversial thing that would make people very upset. And that's why I didn't, like in the video, I made it a point to be like, it would be dope if it was co-op, but like it would have to like not be like that lasered in on co-op, because some people are antisocial like you and don't want to play a video game with other people.
Yeah, it is. It's hard for Mario or for a franchise that's not co-op to then become co-op. Like if Breath of the Wild 2 did co-op with Zelda, like it would have to be an additional thing. Dude. Otherwise, more often than not, it just wouldn't work. Or, I mean, I'm sure like since we're getting better and better at AI and stuff like that, like I'm sure the computer characters could fill that role anyway. I guess at this point, but like Bowser Jr. did in Mario.
I mentioned that too in the video.
3D. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it would just be a hard sell at the same time. It's just
like one of those things that like people make up the problem for themselves.
Yeah,
where they remember when they played freaking Resident Evil 4 or whatever, and they're like, the AI in that game is dumb. So therefore, every game's AI is going to be on the same level as Resident Evil 4 in 2006 or whatever. It's like 2000. When did Resident Evil 4 come out?
I mean, it was on GameCube, so 2003, I bet.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4. Remake? No, not remake. Resident Evil 4 release date. There it is. It came out in 2005, January 11th. So yeah, like AI has advanced since then, believe it or not.
I mean, maybe a bit, but who's to say? No, yeah, it would just be
Look at the Boston Dynamics dog. Look at him and tell me that AI hasn't existed. Okay, advanced.
Because with It Takes Two, for example, it's a brand new IP, so they can just be like, it's a co-op IP. That's the way it works. But with Mario,
people don't feel like they're taking anything away from them.
Yeah, but I definitely remember several times of both with Mario Galaxy. Mitch came over at some point when I was playing through Mario Galaxy 2 for the first time in 2016, and I was like, I mean, there is co-op. I don't know what it's like, but we can try it. And then it's the dumbest. Yeah,
it's just like the Cappy
so bad thing. And then exactly. Cappy's like minorly better, but at some point, Ashley and I were like, let's try playing Mario together. And then we played Mario Odyssey together, and either one of us would have to be Cappy, and then just like was sad about it, because that's not a great experience. So yeah,
it's the neutered version of playing the video game.
Yeah. So I feel like either there's a side mode that's co-op, or they do a good job of like Luigi's Mansion is really good at doing both at the same time.
Yeah,
like either single player,
a co-op game that you can play by yourself.
The only problem is that like with a Mario Odyssey or a Mario game, it's a lot faster paced than Luigi's Mansion is, where Luigi's Mansion you kind of stop and do some things, and like it's more puzzly than it is action based.
Yeah.
So they would have to figure out a whole different way to think about how to interconnect both characters into one gameplay thing for that to work. But I don't know. Yeah.
They can do AI.
Yeah.
AI is probably better at the video game than you are.
I mean, true.
Anyway. So them putting that in AI would work.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to do it.
Yep. And I mean, that's doing it really. That's who wants to do work. My64 said, I want the same thing to happen to Luigi's Mansion, where there's more difficulty like the previous two.
Yeah. So they're saying they want what Miyamoto was saying about like basically getting the green light from the market to make a more complicated Mario game post Wii, because they were apprehensive about that post Wii. Because they're like, oh, wait, the Wii was so successful and the games on there are so simple. So people need simple games still. But then Mario Odyssey did really well and Breath of the Wild did really well. And they're like, oh, shoot, we can have for the big games that are also pretty complex.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be cool if all their games did that.
Yeah.
Because scalability is another thing that comes with advancements. It's like, oh, shoot, we can make a game that's challenging for people that are good at video games, but also for people that are not, for whatever reason, they can also play.
Yeah. I mean, and there's something to be said too for like, just at least adding more challenging stuff towards the, I mean, like you talked about in your video too, where like, adding more challenging stuff towards the end. Like I remember at the end of Mario Odyssey, there was the darkest side of the moon. Yeah. And that was one level that was, pretty tricky. Mm-hmm. But that was one level that was pretty tricky. And there were some moons that were much harder than others. Like some of the hatless moons. I remember the one with the bullets where they're chasing, you have to go down and then you have to do like a bunch of long jumps to come back. I remember having a hard time with that one in the hatless run. But for the most part, there wasn't like too much stuff that was hard. But like if somebody, even if a kid is, wants to 100% it and stuff, like you can just make some that are harder and they'll just work at it longer. Like if they care that much to 100% it, then they'll care to get good enough at it to do it, right. Like maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel pretty confident that for the most part, that's true.
I mean, I think it's reasonable to like make it so that a game on the base level is easy enough to beat, in quotes, like roll credits for anybody.
Yep.
To 100% the game, I wouldn't be mad if that was like where the skill floor rose up. Yeah. Like I think it should still be approachable by most people and like doable if they like work at it enough. But I don't think that same standard applies that it should to just be able to like play through the game and see to the end of it for everybody,
Yeah, absolutely. And especially in something like a Mario where the move set is the real thing to overcome or whatever, like, because I don't know if there's like a lot of RNG things involved or whatever, like maybe that, I don't know, maybe that changes the conversation in some way or whatever, where it just becomes more of a nuisance than skill based or whatever. But I think everybody likes having goals to achieve. And so having like just the top goal be the same thing for everybody, where it would take anybody some work to get to that, is a good thing, So that's all that it is. Nice. Last comment from Wanted Asylum said, here's my theory on what the next 3D Mario game. Chris Pratt voices Mario in the movie, right? He's also Emmett from the Lego movie and the Lego movie 2, the second part. So what if it was a game adaptation of the Super Mario movie.
We joked about this.
We did joke about
on the
this
podcast
last week on the podcast.
Yo, it's Mario the movie, the game.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that's a big reason. I mean, like you mentioned, that like we're definitely, I mean, most likely gonna see at least Mario next year. I think that's a big thing, is that next holiday is when the movie comes out. So I can't imagine that they wouldn't mention something about the next Mario game within the conversation of that movie and promotion and stuff like that. Like,
I could see them doing like a better version of what Sony did with Ratchet and Clank in 2016. Where the movie came out and the game came out, and they didn't really have anything to do with each other than the fact that it was like roughly a similar story. I could see it being like that, where it's like a Mario game came out and it's a good game, and maybe it like references the characters in the movie somehow, and maybe they show up or whatever, but it's not the same thing, you know? I could see that happening, but I doubt that we'll actually get Mario the movie, the game.
I mean, or, you know, if it's something where like, I hope it's not quite this, but to put an idea out there, if the movie is something like it's Mario, but something like not in the real world, but in, you know, he's out of his normal context to some degree or something like that. I hope it's not that, but at the end of the movie, he gets back to his regular world or something. And like somehow the two aren't parallel in that they're the same story, but they like pick up where the other left off or something like that, you know? Like you said, referencing each other.
I don't think that would happen, just because like if that was what the movie was, I don't think they would call it an animated movie. They would call it a live action movie.
I mean, like, I don't think in real life. I just mean like he's not in the Mushroom Kingdom anymore.
Like it's a Mario
he's
Odyssey
like,
sort of situation.
Yeah, something, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah, I saw somewhere someone's idea for how Chris Pratt works in it is like that's his voice in his head, maybe, and then that's how I don't know, or I can't remember exactly what somebody gave an idea, but I was like, that's
it's because Chris Pratt is cool, so Mario wants to sound cool in his head.
He does want to sound cool. Like I could imagine the movie starting out and seeing Mario like woohoo and stuff all around, and then he like, you know, sits down and he's tired or whatever, and then it kind of zooms into his head and it's like, man, today's been really hard. Chris Pratt's voice or something like that, you know, like somehow that transition feels like that could work, where it's like normal Mario starts out and then it's like, let me tell you about my day. And it's Chris Pratt. What a silly time.
Sure. Who knows, man? I just hope that the movie's good.
Or really bad. I don't hope that it's really bad, but I hope it's entertaining. You know,
we already have a really bad Mario movie. We already did that.
Yeah.
Need a good one.
Yeah.
Granted, I still haven't seen that movie. I told Annie
I haven't either.
I was going to watch it and live tweet it. I'll do that at some point. But
yep.
Not this week. This week sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. In fully unrelated to anything else news, Ezra is now sleeping. She used to sleep in a little like thing where her arms are up her side a little, and now she can't sleep in that anymore because she rolls over more. So now her arms have to be free when she sleeps. She's 6 months old, for anybody who's new to the fatherhood saga. And that means that she's waking up way more during the night.
Oh, no.
Just like, and not even sad waking up, just like waking up, and instead of being like, I'm kind of restrained, so I guess I'll go back to sleep, she'll wake up and be like, I could roll over and play. And so like she'll whine a little bit and we'll look at the camera and she's like sideways in the crib with her arm kind of poking out of those slats on the side, and she's like, hey guys. Like, okay, and then put her back and she's all chipper and stuff, which is so cute, but also goodness gracious, it is work. So yeah, there's the updated saga. But yeah, any more thoughts on Mario stuff?
Nope.
Cool.
Mario's cool.
Yep.
I hope they
I hope we get, I mean, and if we get a new Mario game next year, and we also get the Breath of the Wild game we're supposed to get, then maybe 2022 could be even better than 2017. And that's the video that I made this week. And I changed the title like once or twice, but I might put it back to what it was. I don't even know. It's hard to know these days what to do with things inside baseball, because the click-through rate wasn't particularly good with what it was, but then I changed it to our standard one like that, and it's not any better now. So
I think
I don't know what's best.
If it's the standard one, it got to change the thumbnail. That's the thing.
I'll just put it back to the thing, and then we'll go from there. Still more inside baseball. Sorry, everybody. Yep. Also, technically possible if I put it back to the original one. If there's a completely different spin on the same concept, we could also do the
yeah, that's what I was thinking,
and then have a concept behind that. So
yeah,
I'll change it back to the other thing, and then we'll go with that.
Yep.
What a time. Videos and stuff. I still inside baseball. Here we go. I appreciate everybody for hanging out and listening to podcasts and watching these videos and stuff, because YouTube has been very, very unfriendly to us recently. And it's, to be perfectly honest, it's a little bit disheartening that, like, we try to do well in our videos and stuff and make things that we enjoy, but then also that hopefully other people enjoy. And then they get like sometimes fewer and fewer views every week, which, not always, but sometimes. And that's disheartening, even though we're like,
and even if it's like, it's not like the feedback on the videos is like, I don't like this video as much.
Right.
It's like when people comment on a video, they're like, this video is great.
Yeah.
And the viewer retention and stuff like that is still good. But YouTube's like, yeah, we don't think that people want to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all we can do is try to make good videos.
Yeah, let's see. I can't remember exactly how I phrased the title before, but I'm putting it back to something within the same vein.
I love inside baseball.
It's like, wiffle ball, because you could play that indoors. Probably can't play real baseball indoors. That would be a bad idea.
You could
break a lot of windows. It's, what, side note, it's crazy to think about when you hit a ball with a bat that's coming at you, like how far those balls go. Like,
wait, why is it? Okay, what brought you to that conclusion?
I'm just like, I'm okay thinking about, if you played baseball inside, that like 100% you'd break some windows or like really mess up a wall or something.
Not 100%, because like you could play baseball inside and they're not windows.
Like, but if you did, if you went full force and all that stuff, like
you could play baseball in a gym.
Yeah, but still probably like
that's inside.
But even in a gym, unless it's like if it's like a school gym or something like that.
That's what I mean, like a school gym.
Even in a school gym, like think about how far baseballs go in baseball fields. If they go, like that's way more than a school gym. So like you're hitting it into,
like...
that's true, the wall. But like if it hit a window, there's a good chance that I guess it could break through it. I guess. Just thinking about compare if you, I don't know. If you throw a football, they go pretty far. But like if you throw a football, it goes a certain distance. If you hit a baseball with a baseball bat, it goes so much further, right? Pretty sure.
I think that the baseball goes so much further if you hit the baseball with the baseball bat and you're a professional baseball player.
Yes, very true.
But I think most people, they're not hitting the baseball much further than they're throwing a football,
Yeah. Either way, I can't throw anything very far whatsoever. I wanted to play baseball back in like in 7th grade, especially. I wanted to play it. And then I feel like I've said this on the podcast before. I moved away from our school in Virginia at the end of 7th grade. And in 8th grade was when you were started to be allowed to play baseball. And then I got to Belgium.
Wait, what?
For whatever, like they didn't have a like middle school team. They just had JV and varsity. Yeah, just at the school. Yeah, so like at the school, it was just 8th grade and up pretty much that played baseball, because I don't know, not enough support or something. I don't know.
Maybe other
but I missed the cutoff.
Same rule or something.
Yeah. And then when we got to Belgium, somehow, I don't even know how, but somehow I missed the cutoff like again.
Oh, that's
at school, but in the opposite direction.
In Belgium.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't think our team was probably that great, but our basketball team for a little while was very good though. Our coach was a guy.
I guess I kind of technically knew that, but I didn't know that at the same time.
You didn't know.
I saw a picture with the baseball and stuff. I saw that. But I didn't know at the front of my head that people in Belgium played baseball. Yep. Because baseball seems like it seems like both an American thing and a Japanese thing. Yep. Those are the only 100%. Two places I've ever seen play baseball in any real capacity.
And I'm pretty sure our team was like 90% those two demographics, even though our school had like 80 nationalities represented at it. It was like, nah, pretty much any of our American students and Japanese students were on the teams. And there was like 2 French kids like, hey, what's up?
It's kind of like baseball is like fighting games.
I guess, yeah. But no, so our basketball team though was our coach he played like the European circuit of like the professional teams in the European circuit or whatever. And he was like 6'7" or whatever. And his son was on the team at one point. So like for 3 years straight, when his son was on the team and a bunch of other people were really good, our school was, mind you, this is the European like international school circuit, so the competition is pretty minimal. But we were undefeated for like 130 games in a row, which is just like insane. And then those kids all graduated, and then we were terrible for a long time, which is just funny to think about that. This doesn't affect anybody besides us or besides me. But thanks everybody for listening. Anyway, let's talk about 2022. Oh man. All right. So I made a video talking about 2022 and that it could be the first year to really surpass 2017. I don't know. Any thoughts before we get into comments?
I didn't get a chance to watch this video because this week was this week.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with the the concept of the video, because we've been talking about it a lot, where it's like 2017, and I still don't agree with like the general like within like even the first comment where it's like, oh, like the best and worst year in terms of like that sort of thing, because like that's all subjective. Like there's like games that came out that like you might have played once and never played again and blah 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 and stuff. But it just in terms of like what is like on paper, like a Zelda game came out, a Mario game, like that sort of stuff. Right. It does look like it is as close to 1-to-1 with one year as another one is, as we've ever had, plus a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
which
is true.
Is a big thing.
It helps. Yeah, no, for sure. So this first comment, Kirill Muhammad said, "This is how I'd rank every year of the Switch in terms of first-party releases. Number 5, worst, 2018. Number 4, 2020. Number 3, 2021. Number 2, 2019. And number 1, 2017. It's going to be tough on Nintendo's part to top 2017 in general, as 2017 was a phenomenal year for Nintendo and the games industry in general. From what we know what's coming out, 2022 has had the best chance to top 2017 other than 2019, a year that kind of dropped the ball despite placing second on my list. For what it's worth, I pretty much agree with this whole comment."
There's a lot about it that I disagree with, because I hard disagree with the 2019 comment. Like I hard disagree with that in terms of like it dropping the ball in any level, because at the end of the day, the bulk of what people say is like great about 2017, and even like as across the industry as a whole, is on the back of 4 games. Like it's Horizon Zero Dawn, it's Breath of the Wild, it's Mario Odyssey, and insert whatever your B tier game is, right? Whereas like 2019 had a lot of those like high ranking games. Like I would say if Breath of the Wild is an S tier game and Mario Odyssey is an S tier game, it had a lot of A's. Like,
yeah, it did. Yeah.
2019 had way more A's than 2017 had of anything. But because people like Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is a great game, and Mario Odyssey is a great game, but I think that it just doesn't make sense to like quantify how good, quote unquote, a year is based on how much you enjoy these two games that a lot of people might have not liked at all. Like, I think it's way better to have a decent shotgun blast than a pretty strong like arrow, you know?
Right.
Like,
I think it's interesting because I think for as much as the like, I don't tie this conversation very closely with my subjective experience of game. I mean, I do in some ways, but also I think I think of this very similarly to how I would think of Game of the Year award kind of things. You know what I mean? Where it's like more just like big picture type stuff, which is funny because most things I don't really think about much that way at all. So yeah, like for 2017, there were more games on the Switch that, you know, I mean, there were 2 Game of the Year nominees that from the Switch, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Whereas like 2021 I've had a great time with my Switch in 2021. And we just looked at the Game of the Year stuff, and there was one game that showed up. I mean, Metroid Dread showed up in Game of the Year, obviously, and then also in action adventure games. And then I think the only other Nintendo stuff was in family games, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So, you know, at that point you could be like, wow, Switch had a terrible year.
Yeah, but
based on that, which is like,
did 2019 have any Game of the Year nominations?
Game of the Year? Nope, not specifically.
Yeah, like none. Yeah. So that like that's what I mean. Like that's the super subjective end of it, because it's just like, oh, Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey appeals to the sort of base of people that are going to vote on what a Game of the Year is. That doesn't mean that those games are necessarily better. It just means that they're more targeted. And I think that that's like a weird way to gauge how good a year is, because you and me and whoever can't definitively say that in that way. You know what I mean? Like, the most like objective way that we can, like, if we're trying to look at it objectively, I think the best way is by frequency, like the amount of games that came out that a lot of people wanted and a lot of people bought. And in terms of like sales, like what games came out when and how much did those ones sell, you know? Like,
I mean, I think, and that was something that 2017 definitely had going for it, was just like every month there's a game coming out. And so probably, I bet the drop the ball comment is
every month there's a game coming out, but every month now there's 20.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, just in terms of like Nintendo first party, you know, like thing that they were pushing and stuff. But also, even if that's still true now, it felt more obvious then because of how little there was coming out.
Exactly. It felt more of like an event because there were 3 games coming out, and one of them was a Nintendo game. Whereas now there's 25 games coming out in a week, and one of them might be a Nintendo game. You know, like,
I mean, on a good week, honestly, like I can't remember. At some point I counted, it was like 43 games in a week, which, going back to if I was still doing the videos that I was doing when I first did fanatixfour stuff, those videos would be just much, much too long. Because I was just like, it was basically, for anybody who didn't watch them, it was previewing every game that came out the next week. And goodness gracious. Now doing 43 videos in 1 week.
That would have been insane.
Yeah. So it is. It's interesting.
But it just seems too targeted.
And also, I think the further we get into it, the more people are jumping on as we go through, to where it becomes less relevant of a it's a fun metric to look at, like, oh yeah, all these games were great and they all came out in the same year. That's a fun thing to measure up. But as far as like experientially, this is going to matter to fewer and fewer people as we go down the list, you know, because like people bought Switches for the first time in 2021, so like they don't care about 2017 specifically.
They're not like, okay, let me go through And the people really like 2017 a lot. So I'm going to spend this month playing every game that came out in 2017. No, they're going to go through and be like, what games do I care about? I'm going to buy the Pokemon game. I'm going to buy Animal Crossing. I'm going to buy Mario Party. They're basically going to buy the top 10 list of games that sold. Like, so I don't know, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. And honestly, I think especially if 2022 does quote unquote like beat 2017, I think this kind of conversation will in effect die, like will go away.
Yeah, because then I think people will realize how dumb it is, because they're going to be like, well, I personally liked more games that came out in 2017. And it's like, yeah, but your argument, like this, Breath of the Wild, the sequel, had better Metacritic and it was a bigger event, and so like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. Still, even despite this being a dumb topic, I like talking about it. It's fun. So, and I'm fine being whatever that means about me. Next comment though, Jump on Everything said, knowing what we already know about 2022, all it needs to beat 2017 for me is a new 3D Mario or a new Xenoblade game. Then it's pretty much guaranteed, considering there'll also be other games we don't know about yet.
All over again.
I brought that up in the video too, of like, right now we literally do have Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, Breath of the Wild 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, probably Xenoblade Chronicles 3, maybe Mario. Yeah, like there's a lot that's being just straight up echoed from that year.
Yep.
If we get a new Mario, or like if we got a new Mario Kart or Xenoblade, like there's pretty much just pulling out all the heavy hitters. Not that Xenoblade is a heavy hitter particularly, but
true. But it's a 2017 game, so that makes it a heavy hitter by default.
Yeah, and also it is like a big sprawling RPG that like it's got that kind of clout behind it, which still fits more in the game of, even if it's more niche than Mario Party. It is more niche than Mario Party. It still is closer to something that could feel like a game of the year thing than
the template.
Yeah,
like looking at the top 10, it looks pretty evenly split in terms of like years that stuff came out, because it's like the top 3 is a 2017 game, I mean a 2014 game, but it's Mario Kart 8 is Animal Crossing 2020, Smash Brothers 2018, and then Breath of the Wild, that's another 2017, Pokemon Sword and Shield 2019, Mario Odyssey 2017, Mario Party 2018, Pokemon Let's Go 2018, Splatoon 2017, and then Ring Fit is what, 2018 or 2019?
2019, yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
So 2019 has the same amount as 2017. So
interesting.
2019 is just as good, objectively.
Fantastic. All right, next comment. Chronically Cal said, as someone who isn't a huge fan of mainly multiplayer experiences, I'm sorry, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the 2022 lineup appeals to me more, especially if Splatoon 3 has a robust enough single player for me to justify trying it out. I'm really excited for the Mario plus Rabbids sequel, even though I don't think I ever finished the first one. I'm bad at video games, TM.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you for sure. While I was looking at those games, I was like, this, on one hand, spreads like a good variety of things, but a lot of them are like pretty, video other than Splatoon, it's like, pretty single player experience. Even Pokemon, it's the most single player Pokemon probably we've ever had. And
well, other than XD,
outside of like Detective Pikachu or something like that. Yeah. But then Breath of the Wild single player, Bayonetta 3 single player, Splatoon 3 is not, but maybe we'll have a more robust single player. We'll see.
We shall see
Indeed. And then Rocky D12 says, I hope something F-Zero or Star Fox or even Excite Bike / truck.
That would be wild if we got Excite Truck in 2022.
Yep. I mean, so, and side note for videos in future and stuff like that, I pretty much I speculated on things that like seem like they make sense, like getting a new Fire Emblem or getting a new Xenoblade or something like that, some of which are rumors or a new Mario, but I really didn't talk at all about other potential. I realized in retrospect too, I didn't talk about the Good Feel game that seems like it must be coming out next year, probably, right? But they also they kind of push their Yoshi team, and they always delay Yoshi's for whatever reason. So could be 2027.
It's very weird that Yoshi and Zelda specifically always get delayed. Like, why?
Especially compared to like why Yoshi and not Kirby. Like they're very similar in my mind as far as like
Yoshi's, Kirby's on the opposite end of the spectrum where it's like, Kirby got delayed last time, the last big Kirby game.
Right.
But
yeah.
Kirby games come out every year. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it was supposed to come out in 2017 and then it came out
at the beginning of
right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, give it a couple more. That honestly, that felt more like what I think Advanced Wars was, where they were just like, we've got enough stuff.
We got to tighten it back up level 3 a little bit.
Yeah. And Big Benno London. Yes. The last big Kirby game, Star Allies. That's the one. Yep. Because we've had some other Kirby stuff since then, but it was
there's a Kirby thing every year, all the time, at least one thing.
Kirby Super Clash, Kirby Fighters 2. I don't remember what else.
The Kirby, I think there was another Kirby thing. I don't remember what it was though.
Kirby other thing.
Yeah, Kirby.
That's the one. But yeah, I didn't talk at all about franchises coming back or anything like that. So that would also be huge because that's something like if we're going back to the 2022 versus 2017 conversation, 2017 had some of that where like, whoa, they're doing another Xenoblade game. That one didn't like come back in the same regard, but doing a sequel to the first one or like,
oh, that was the other thing. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn came out in 2019.
Oh, okay, on 3DS, yeah. So, but I feel like bringing back some older franchises and stuff like that was a big deal this year with Metroid Dread and with other stuff. So, we could see any kind of surprises are all possible. And I mentioned as well in the video that like I didn't go into it at all, but towards the end I was like, also wouldn't be surprised if new hardware towards the end of the year, just also fine if it doesn't happen. But if that does happen, probably like I could see there being a bigger rollout of it being made a bigger deal than the OLED was.
So I'm looking at the Kirby release timeline.
Yeah.
Since 1992, there have been 6 years where we haven't gotten at least one Kirby game.
Wow.
Multiple of which we've gotten up to 3, up to 3 games in a single year. Gracious. And one franchise.
Man, Kirby's just honestly HAL Laboratories, like they crank it out. They
do. It's a lot of Kirby games being made.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, what a time. So there you go. That's 2022. We'll talk about it more. And as more happens and stuff, but I just think it's an interesting little time and wanted to talk about all the fun games that are going to be coming out next year. So
I agree.
Yep.
It's definitely an exciting thing. I like talking about like what's to come and all that stuff. I just don't like
that was like 90% of the conversation
situation that happens with it. Like
I almost in the beginning of the video, I almost did a like, here's, so I mentioned the games of 2017 that like really made it great and stuff. And then I was like, in other years, here's a bunch of games that came out, but they, and they were good, but maybe didn't quite break that threshold. I almost went into each year and I was like, I don't feel like doing that. That's no fun. Like, especially because then it just creates more controversy than just like being like, I don't know, seems like maybe it
because inexorably there's going to be people that are like, well, I hated every game that you said you liked and I loved every game that you said you hated.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's a silly time. Man, I do hope there's a new Star Fox next year, just because like that would be so fun.
That'd be dope.
To just exist. Again, like I say with a lot of this stuff, it's not even that I think it'd be so fun to play it. I think it would just be so fun.
Cool that it's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's what the way my brain is, but it is. So, all right. And now moving on to the final segment of the show, Q&A.
True.
We don't have a ton of questions today. Let me check YouTube just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I posted things late, partly because I put on my video and wanted to wait until after that to ask for questions / forgot. So, so yeah, not a ton of questions. I'm gonna check Discord one more time. But the poll on the Twitters.
Plus,
wait.
if you're here listening and you have any questions that we can talk
Yes.
about during Q&A, feel free to leave them in the chat.
This is true. I accidentally disconnected from the call for a second. Let me see if I'm still in there. Hello. Sorry, I disconnected from the call. Thanks.
Nice.
So yes, like you said, if you got any questions, drop them in there for fun. But let's get going. So on YouTube community, I asked whether your personal game of the year was included in the game of the year conversation, or into the game of the year awards,
Mm-hmm.
And 79% of people said yes, it is. And 21% of people said no, it is not. I don't know what each of theirs are, but
Did
people
you
voted.
Ask them to include that in the question?
We
you should have put that in the poll
question.
You should have put it in the answer. You should have put
I can always go back or something. Well, it's too late for that.
Yeah, it's too late. I mean, you could still get people that see it after the fact, but
yeah,
I don't know what the point of that would be.
Harrison Whaley said, my game of the year is Metroid Dread. So yes, it is, but there definitely are other greats that didn't make the cut. No personal questions for me, but thanks as always for making a great show.
Thanks. For leaving a comment and listening and for the compliment. I don't know. This year felt like, I feel like I played a lot of games that came out this year, but not a lot of them feel like the game that like stuck in my head. It's like, this is a game of the year. Like, there's a lot of games that I like a lot. Like a lot of my favorite game, like new Pokemon Snap. That's still a game that comes to my head, but I don't know if I would say it's the game of the year for me.
Yeah.
No,
I feel that for sure. We'll talk about this when we talk. I've got some thinking to do on this topic, but like, I might say Bravely Default 2 for me is the one that but some of that is also just because it's the one I spent the most time with. And so it like had a chance to leave a long-term impact.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was my game of the year.
That's the one. But honestly, like some of the games that left the longest impact that were also shorter, one of them didn't come out this year. But like, yeah, there's a bunch of games where I'm like, maybe that one, even though it was kind of like a short experience, like off the top of my head, again, we'll be talking spoilers for our game of the year, but whatever. A Short Hike, like I still think about that game fairly often. It was literally like I played it in one sitting. Like, Ashley took a nap.
3 hours or something like that.
It was 3 hours, yeah, like 2.5 hours, something like that. So that was great. And then like Islanders, I played that for a while, and it's super simple, but deep enough, and probably put 40 hours into it and just had a good old time, So there's more games that I feel like if I played certain other games, they would have been my game of the year. Which on one hand is like, well, then why don't you play those games? And I don't know, various reasons, I suppose.
Because why play them just so you can have the arbitrary thing of like, that's my game of the year, like the only people that need to do that are the people that aren't doing it anyway, like the people that are like on this committee should be playing all of these games to completion to be like, this one's my game of the year and this one's not. But normal people do not need to play a game like that. Like, just play what sticks out to you, and if you like it and it's game of the year material, good. If not,
yeah, it is funny how often, anytime I mention Civ 6 on this, that like there's games that I know that I would like and I choose not to play for specific reasons. Year? No, it didn't. It was like 2018 that it came out on the Switch, and I think it originally came out like 2016 or something like that, or a little while ago. But like just that kind of thing, like Shin Megami Tensei 5, like I know I'll enjoy that if I ever get around to it. But I just right now, I don't feel like playing it right now. So I'm not going to buy it right now. I'll just wait for it to go on sale at a time that I do want to play it. But yeah, it's just, that's the way things go. So
I feel it.
All right. Questions from Discord now. These are the ones from the podcast questions channel. So again, just a reminder to people, if you think of something throughout the week that's like, this would be a fun thing to hear AJ and Parker talk about or whatever, like feel free to just go and drop it in there. You don't have to necessarily wait.
In there, you can tweet it at us.
Yep.
But be
It's
sure to
true.
let us know that it's not just a question for Twitter, and it's a question for the show, and we'll put
Yep.
it in the doc.
I mean, and here's me. The only reason I'm doing fanatixfour was because I asked a Q&A one time.
It's true.
There's that story for you. And AJ was
Was
like,
it Q&A
I don't think
or was it a YouTube comment?
it was.
Oh, yeah,
it was Q&A.
Q&A for the podcast specifically.
Yeah.
That was
and
like
I was like, hey, it was on like a Wednesday or something like that. And I was like, hey, here's a question for next podcast episode. And you're like, I don't know if there's going to be any more podcast episodes.
Oh, yeah,
and then so on and so forth. What a time. All right. So Discord. Duncan asked, I know Pokemon's out now, but anyone playing Halo? If so, how y'all liking it?
I played it a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, I'll probably jump in. I still need to play with Wes and Colton. But I played it a little bit. It's cool. I like it. I've always liked Halo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'll probably play it more once the campaign's out because I do want to like play through that. But unless I find people to like consistently play the multiplayer with, I don't know how much I'll be playing that.
Yeah.
Yo, especially since the freaking 2022 Smash Circuit, I gotta get good for that, man.
Get good, man.
I gotta get good at the video game. So
yeah, obviously I haven't played it at all because that's me.
Shoot, but you could. You do have.
I could.
Console.
I'm right now. I don't have Game Pass just because
Well, actually, I mean, you still could. It's still free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's
the
a good point.
Multiplayer is free, but
I mean,
it's not your game anyway. You wouldn't play that. The only reason to play it is because people are playing it.
Yep. I think. I mean, so like maybe Mitch is playing it. I guess I could see if.
Yo, if Mitch is playing, tell him hit me up.
Yeah, but also I think.
I mean, I could tell him to hit me up. I got
it. It's true. But yeah, I am not. I've never played a first-person shooter on my own, like without being over at somebody's house and be like, "Here, play this game for a second." I'm like, "Okay, I guess." So, yeah, I don't really anticipate much of that, but we'll see.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yep. Big Ben O London asked, "Is Parker playing Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl?" I haven't picked it up yet. For no good reason other than I just know that I'm not going to start it immediately, but I do plan to play it.
Which one are you getting? You getting Diamond or
which
Pearl?
one do you have?
I have Diamond.
You have Diamond, right? I'll ask Ashley which sounds more fun to her so that she can feel invested, so that maybe then she'll play it too. And then, maybe we'll end up getting the other one because we got to trade between the two of us. That's true. So much money for just trading, like just trading with somebody else.
I mean, if you're going to buy the game anyway, but it doesn't really matter because like people on Discord, like we can
exactly.
That's why it's like I usually don't care about which I like the version exclusive stuff.
Yeah,
stopped mattering to me since I learned that the internet was a thing.
Yeah,
because like why does
because is there anything like? I mean, I doubt it, but like in Sword and Shield, they have a couple different gym leaders and some other stuff like that.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Is there anything like that in this?
No,
okay, yeah,
absolutely not. The only thing that I think does matter in terms of like version exclusives, because this would be harder normally to get, is the legendary. Because like, how many people are you going to find that's like, I'll give you the legendary? Like, you can complete your Pokedex and like get touch trades and stuff like that. But like, if you like the legendary and want to have the legendary, that should impact your decision. But for even like for this game, that doesn't matter because you can catch the legendary and Sword and Shield. Like, so
that's so true.
It's just this version, like deciding between these two versions is as superficial as it gets. Which color do you like more? Which legendary looks cooler to you? Like
yep, man, that is really funny to think about. So yeah, there you go. And speaking of which, Mega Man asked, why is the underground the best thing since sliced bread?
Only went in the underground one time, and it was during the tutorial thing, so I didn't even get to do the mining situation. It's cool, but I haven't seen anything like more cool than the original one was yet. I mean, I did the overworld Pokemon thing, but like even that is like I've done that. That's in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I'm curious what the appeal is. Mega Man, let us know. Are you still in the chat? Maybe not. I don't know. what's the appeal to you specifically? Because I mean, yeah, I know a little bit about the original one and the mining and stuff.
That's
but
I mean,
not a whole lot
that's
about
another thing. Like, I haven't played it with any other person, you know. So
that.
maybe
Yeah.
that's another thing that's cool. And I don't even know if there's like, because in the original game, like you can set traps and stuff for your
Oh,
friends.
interesting.
I don't know if you can do that in this one.
Huh. Yeah, I want to know, but I'll play it eventually myself, I guess so, and then we'll find out then as well. And last but not least, Alec is baking. Who is baking? It's true. He's
True, he
shown
bakes.
us.
I found that out last week or something.
Ask the question: cranberry sauce, awesome or disgusting? Please discuss.
I'm gonna say right now, disgusting. I used to like it.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce for me is I'm not going to say like eggs, because eggs, I went through phases of like liking and disliking eggs, but like the thing that made me like the egg is making it a different way. But cranberry sauce is cranberry sauce. I just randomly was like, nah, this is nasty. Nah, it's good again. Nah, this is nasty again. And I'm on the nasty. I'm on the nasty train.
Maybe because you could get different qualities of it or like texture and stuff. Because sometimes I guess it's kind of gelatinous and other times it's not, right? Yeah. I would not be into, I don't think I've barely had cranberry sauce much at all. We with Ashley's family and stuff, we're more of a ham for Thanksgiving crowd. Yeah. And with that, you just don't need it. Like ham's just good anyway. Whereas with turkey, like turkey can be really dry. So it's nice to have something that, you know, adds that. So I could see adding cranberry sauce to my turkey if it wasn't gelatinous-y cranberry sauce, but it was like, you know, more like jam-ish or like less jam, more. You could pour it a little bit.
And some people put freaking like nuts in it and stuff, and that's very strange.
It's weird. I mean, I like most nuts, but there's definitely certain things.
Cranberry sauce?
No, yeah, I know. There's like, I'm kind of picky about what things nuts go into. Like I'm not a huge fan of walnuts. I don't love their texture. It's like they're not crunchy and they're not chewy. They're like a weird kind of like, they almost feel stale, like ish, if you know what I mean. Like it's that weird in between of the two. And
that's cranberry chutney, similar but not the same. I'm not a baker, Alec. No.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't even like walnuts in my like banana bread. Like I like banana bread a lot, but walnuts in banana bread, not here.
Yeah, but that's different. Like and like pastries.
I'm just saying, like in general, nuts and things. Like I have kind of particular preferences about something. I'll eat it anyway. I don't care. Like I'm polite, but but in cranberry sauce, no, I would not choose nuts in that either way.
I'm not trying to eat at Thanksgiving, to be honest. A lot of times at Thanksgiving, I'm like, I don't like 75% of the stuff that's here. Give me the baked macaroni and cheese and let me get out of here.
I feel that for sure. Especially, I really like veggies. I don't like the way Southern veggies are sometimes / often done. Like green beans, if they're like mushy at all, like boiled green beans, like are just bad. Like nobody, I think people, if like green bean casserole with like bacon and cheese and onions or whatever, like, yeah, sure, fine. That's, barely green beans at that point, but it's tasty, like I'll eat it. But if you're going to have like just straight up green beans, then like steamed green beans where they're like still kind of crispy on the, or like crunchy on the outside and stuff like that, like that's great. But just boiled green beans for the sake of like, we need a green side. Nah, take it away from here.
Yeah, so like greens, like collard greens, like they're good. I like them.
I don't know that I've ever had collard greens, honestly.
But they're like, you got like, that's the thing. Like that's why when I go to Thanksgiving, it's baked macaroni and cheese, because like it's hard to mess that up.
It is. It's so good.
But all the other stuff people mess up all the time. So I'm like, nah, like just give me the thing that is near impossible to mess up and get me out.
I honestly like, so growing up, not in the States, we did Thanksgiving around Thanksgiving time, but it like twice was standard Thanksgiving meal. Oftentimes we would just like have something completely different, but then have the like concept of Thanksgiving meal, but it was around like fondue or something. I don't know, something just completely different. But the part of Thanksgiving that was the essential was the like, we're having dinner and we're like being thankful for something, and kind of thinking through that kind of stuff. And then like going to in-laws where it's very like, well, here's the thing that we do around this holiday is we make all these food things, and then we don't really end up doing the Thanksgiving-y part of it, particularly, just because why not? I very nearly this year was like, let's just not make 1,000 things. Like, let's just simplify so that we don't have to be stressing out about cooking for 7 hours of the day, eating for 30 minutes. Like, great. Yeah. Or even like get the ham if you want, do that. And then like 2 sides. That would be so much easier, but whatever, I don't feel like
it's so much.
If everybody else wants to do it, fine.
It's so much. And then it's like, you got to eat Thanksgiving. If you eat Thanksgiving, you got to eat Thanksgiving for the whole next month.
Very true. Like, yeah.
And then you got Thanksgiving is like a 3-month. You're eating Thanksgiving for 3 months. Because you have Thanksgiving in November, right?
Yeah.
That bleeds into December. And then you have Thanksgiving part 2 for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then that bleeds into January because you got all that freaking food. It's too much food. Y'all got to calm down. Chill out. And it's not even particularly good food. We had this conversation before where I did. Somebody posted the poll. I think it was Brianna from G4.
Uh-huh.
I think she's the one that posted that where it's like Thanksgiving food is kind of mid. It's kind of mid.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, for sure.
Kind of mid. I don't know why there's all this hype built up for this collection of food.
I think it's the concept of like, so I'm not particularly good at like portion control anyway. So like, if I have food in front of me and I want to eat a lot of the food, I'll just eat a lot of the food. Like, I don't, whatever. But maybe for some people, it's like finally an excuse to get to eat as much as I can. It's less about the content, right? And more about
but why not make that food that everybody will like?
Because that's not tradition, and you can't.
Why are we excited about this food? Like, what is so good about this food that we can only have, or we're only supposed to have one time a year, two times really? Because
two is true. Alec just said mushy, brown, and heavy, which reminded me of. I went to my aunt and uncle's for Thanksgiving one year, and I had made a plate and I was like, okay, this looks like some pretty good stuff. And then handed it to my uncle's mother. So like, I don't know what that technically is. It's not biological uncle. It's whatever, a lady in the family. And she was like, you want some gravy? And I was like, oh, sure. And then instead of putting like a little bit of gravy on my mashed potatoes, she put a giant spoonful of gravy on the whole plate.
I mean, that seems,
and I was like
that seems like how sauce is generally handled.
And it was just like,
Bob don't like sauce. That's why we're anti-sauce. Because unless I can control my sauce, it's too much sauce.
Yeah. Depending on the sauce, opposite of that spectrum though is we go to Zaxby's. Do you have Zaxby's up there?
I do not. There's no Zaxby's here, but I lived in Florida for 2 years, and that has Zaxby's, and Zaxby's pretty lit, pretty
good. So we go to Zaxby's, and I get the kickin' chicken sandwich, which is just like Texas toast or whatever, 3 chicken strips and Zax sauce and like a ranch or kind of something like that. And every time I ask for heavy sauce because it's honestly, I don't eat it as a sandwich. I eat the,
take the bread, you just take it apart.
So I mean, pretty much I just use it to dip my fries in instead because like the combination of sauce is better than a sauce packet. So it's like, it ends up just being a multifaceted sauce experience. And like 1 out of 5 times they'll actually do it. And more often than not, they'll just like not. And I'm always so sad because it's like a perfect experience of a thing of like, now I've got something to dip the fries in, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't do it. I'm like, well, I didn't even ask for a side of sauce. Or if I do, they don't give it to me half the time. Sad.
I think
that on the
again, I think this is definitely like a difference in philosophy towards it. But I think I would much rather not get enough sauce than have too much.
Usually I'd feel the same way. This for some reason is different.
If I don't have enough sauce, I can get sauce, dude. Sauce is not hard to come by.
Alex said that was a journey.
But I can't take sauce away. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
Once the
again,
sauce is there.
I generally agree, especially in the context of like people who put ketchup on their fries. Like if you have a thing of like, that's a mistake because some of them get soggy, some of them have too much ketchup, other ones don't. Also, ketchup in and of itself, maybe not the best choice.
Very garbage. Ketchup, trash. It's trash.
But
I don't know why Canada makes chips themed all around ketchup. What's wrong with them?
I did recently dip some fries in just straight up ketchup, and I was like, man, this kind of brings me back. But usually that's not my bag. But I do like ketchup on like burgers or hot dogs or whatever. So it's got its place.
It's filler. Ketchup is filler to me. Like I'm not going to be mad if they put ketchup on my burger. I'm not mad at that. Like I'm not mad, but I'm not going to be mad if they don't. You know what I mean? Like
I think for me, it really is a condiment, whereas sometimes sauce is part of the thing. Like if I get barbecue sauce or whatever, and I was looking forward to that barbecue sauce, the fries and the barbecue sauce are working together to make it good. But
that's the thing. I'm going to be more mad about not having barbecue sauce on the thing than not having ketchup on the thing. Like ketchup is ketchup is fine, but I can leave ketchup. I can leave ketchup and it not be there, and I'm not sad about that at all. Like I'm not disappointed if they forgot my ketchup. Like, and the thing is, like maybe that's because they never do. Like I could not ask for ketchup and they give you like mad packets of ketchup. Like so you like freaking go to McDonald's or whatever and you ask for barbecue sauce and you're lucky to get one, maybe two. You might get like 17, but you get 37 packets and you get a whole bottle of ketchup and in the bag, whether you ask for it or not. Like so maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's because there's an abundance of ketchup and there's not enough other things. But ketchup,
they're always trying to save money on the like sauce packets or whatever and only give you one because like they don't want to run out. But then they give you like a million ketchups, which they could just save money on the ketchup.
Buy less ketchup and you can save us all money. How about that?
How about that?
But we didn't talk about the Marvel thing.
We didn't. So yeah, to conclude Alex's question, also anyone else watching Wheel of Time? I haven't started it yet. I guess did it come out today? I think. But Ashley and I were both.
That's the other
It's a
Marvel
book
thing?
Series. It's not a Marvel thing. Okay, it's on I think Amazon Prime.
Okay, because I remember you told me that there was like some new Marvel thing on Hulu, and I was like, pay attention to Hulu. I didn't know there was a Marvel thing on Hulu. But apparently
we're finna find out. TV for you. Oh, this is Ashley's profile. Excuse me. I Hit Monkey. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's what she said, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Huh? I might check it out at some point. That seems fun. But yeah, Wheel of Time is a book series. It's notorious for it just kept on going and going and going, and was like in the middle of a big story arc, and the author died because he was old, I think.
Okay.
In any case, he passed away, and he left notes behind, and other people have been continuing the series like with the notes that he left since then, pretty much, which is just a like, yeah. So yeah, 15 books long. Author died before book 12 is what Alex said. So there you go.
Jesus.
But now it's a TV show, and I'd like to watch it. So, but I just haven't yet. Seems up my alley. And okay, and now the Marvel Minute, as it were, because Alec asked, what is the excitement level for Hawkeye? And then we'll also talk about other Marvel things, I suppose.
It's true. I feel like with Hawkeye, similarly to how I felt about the Captain America. Not Captain America. Captain America, that's a bad description. Because Captain America, there's part of me that actively doesn't want to care about that. I don't necessarily not want to care about Hawkeye, but I don't.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with Hawkeye. I don't really care. But because it's MCU stuff, and like if I don't watch that, I'm gonna be confused about some sort of Easter egg 5 years from now. I gotta watch it. So I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, I've heard comics wise that the run that this is based off of was like really, really well done comic run. So that's, enticing in theory, but I so far have not been able to get hyped for Hawkeye, partly because like I like superheroes with superpowers and like more, fun, just not down to earth grounded stuff. Not that a guy shooting bow and arrow, the best in world person, like that's not, I mean, that is down to earth, but still, you know, it's regular people who can just do like things crazy well or whatever, and which is a little less exciting to me. But maybe I'll watch it and I'll be convinced. And I hope that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, but
yeah, Hawkeye
just
in the movies has just never been interesting.
Be excited about it is a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it for sure.
Yeah, that's that. Shang-Chi, that's on.
Did you watch it yet?
Yes, I did.
Hey.
I feel kind of like I feel like that with Shang-Chi. Like he's just a dude that can kick good. You know?
Yeah. But he's got powerful rings now.
He does have the rings.
That's neato burrito.
He does have the rings. But also the rings are like not the same like as they were like in the comics, weren't they like Infinity Stone situation?
They were kind of like
they're
kind of like Green Lantern-y things. I mean, I guess not, but yeah, they each had a different power. Like one did. Yeah, that's a good point. They kind of are like
they're Infinity Stones. And they were just like, we can't do that again. Dude.
Yeah.
We just did that.
I think I like Shang-Chi because, I mean, there was still like the kind of mythical nature of it and like the, you know, fantasy kind of stuff, even though his only thing for a long time was being able to punch and kick. But he did do that pretty well. And I just find martial arts action more fun than, even though technically like action movies technically are using martial arts, but
that's the thing that's boring. Weird to me. Like I Western martial arts that this is weird for me, but when I'm watching Marvel stuff specifically, almost exclusively with Marvel stuff, once they start fighting, I don't care. it's like all right, whatever. Like let's get to like moving the plot forward. I don't care about the fighting part. So
I get that, honestly, other than like I like the set pieces of the fighting parts. So like once you get to the big fight at the end of Shang-Chi, I'm not going to say things for spoiler reasons and stuff, but like those big fights and stuff, because they also typically have some, I guess, plot purposes behind them. Maybe that helps, but also it's just like
somebody says like our grandfather died, and then like, and then they stop fighting. Like it's like that's the level of plot that changes, like that they're like they're talking to each other, they're fighting verbally as they fight physically. And then a revelation what happened was like, oh, he did say that thing. That makes me think. But like
the, you know, Shang-Chi's one of the most popular fights. I liked it. But one of the most popular fight scenes was the bus fight scene, and watching people's breakdowns of that, specifically the director's breakdown of it after the fact, made me appreciate it more than when I was watching it and didn't care that much about it as it was happening. I still care more about it than I do just in the same way that like Jackie Chan type action is more fun to watch than, I don't know, Born Supremacy action or something. I don't know, you know, whatever. But like in general, same kind of way of like, I prefer JRPGs kind of thing than Western RPGs. With the exception of like Breath of the Wild, even though it is Japanese, but like it feels more like Western or whatever.
Western. And its approach.
But I don't know. I just like the Western action movie in a formula doesn't do much for me outside of like you said, the Marvel things is neat.
So Shang-Chi, it was like
but I liked the characters a lot.
The whole like trajectory of that movie, fascinating, because there were so many people that actively wanted to hate that movie. Like, yo, who is Shang-Chi? I don't give a crap about this. Why would they make a movie about, how come this wasn't and it's like from the same people, and these are people that I know and love that were like, man, Shang-Chi's going to be so dumb, they should have just made a Disney Plus thing. And then they saw the movie and they're like, best Marvel movie of all time. And I'm like, yo. Like and people that like actively argue with me when I was like, I mean, the MCU makes this movie matter. Like, this movie matters because the MCU matters. It doesn't matter how important Shang-Chi is to the history of comics or even like the world of Marvel comics, because there's like characters like Iron Man that like, sure, he was important to the world of Marvel, but he wasn't important to our world. He was like D tier maybe, but then the MCU made him important to our world. And Shang-Chi, same thing happened.
And especially, I think one of the things that I like about, like, I enjoyed the whole movie. I liked all the characters and the ways, the narrative in it in general. I mean, wait, is this a spoilery conversation or not?
I think
we never know.
It's spoilery, dude. Like,
okay, cool. Yeah, just in general, like the ways that he and Wenwu interact, and like Wenwu's believable to me as in general as a, his motivations are believable. Other than like, again, spoilers. When he dies at the end, it's that feels a little cheap. Of like, I sacrificed myself. The only thing I could do is like, no,
comeuppance. It's how it's how he's redeemable because he's dead.
But you know what? Even then, I could see that he was like, I hadn't thought about this until now, but he finally realized my wife isn't coming back. She is the only thing I've been living for, and she's not coming back. Like, even if I'm not going out with a bang, I might as well just I'm done. It's been 1,000 years. Like, that's enough of that. So, but all that said, I think I liked all those parts of the movies. Like, just the story part of the movie was good, but power wise, I think Shang-Chi is going to be interesting going forward too, because like he kind of like the rings can kind of do whatever they want them to do, so they can make his character do interesting powers kind of stuff just because, and that's fun to watch. Like any magic type wielding things, they could just make fun stuff happen, and he can be a solution to some problem that they make up and be cinematic. He's and
just
cool.
A free MacGuffin. Like,
yeah. Okay, he's canonically the best hand-to-hand fighter in the comics.
Yo, he can punch mad good.
Yeah,
he is very good at punching and kicking things.
But yeah, all in all, I really liked that. You haven't seen the Eternals, so I'm not gonna any spoilers.
I have not, and I will not. I am not. I mean, I'm going to watch it eventually, obviously, but I'm not going to the theaters to watch it.
No, yeah, we went to.
I might go to the theaters to watch Spider-Man. Maybe, and that's Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is like before the MCU. That was like the one comic book that I cared about even a little bit.
Yeah,
I had my room was. I talked about this on my stream yesterday. I had my room post. I don't know. I turned like 8, and I was like, all right, friendship with Sonic the Hedgehog over. Spider-Man is my friend now, and I had a Spider-Man room. I'm not even going to go to the theaters to see that. Probably. Yeah, I'm not going to go to the theaters to watch the Eternals.
Yeah,
and then in 2021.
We're trying to figure out a way to watch Spider-Man specifically because it's Catherine, Mitch's fiance's birthday, like 2 days beforehand, and she really wants to see it. So like we're trying to figure out a way. Eternals, we watched into the drive-in, and the drive-in's not going to be open anymore at Spider-Man time. Here's the only thing I'll say about the Eternals is I think it would have made for a better Disney Plus show, just based on just the breadth. It's just got a lot of characters.
Yeah, isn't it like 3 hours or close to that? It's like
mad. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 47 minutes. So like you can tell they try to fit a lot of stuff in there.
That's Endgame. Dude.
And whether you like it or don't like it or anything in between, like you can tell just from that concept of there's 10 big characters and blah, blah, blah. Like, that would have been cool to be a Disney Plus show, but they have a lot of really cool set pieces that I really enjoyed. And I probably couldn't have happened in a Disney Plus show based on budget
also,
and stuff.
I think that, and I mean that those two things go hand in hand, but I think that they need to make the characters that they want us to care about, they need to be introduced in movies. They have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's on off rip of MCU movie will force people to care. And a show to some degree will, but not as big as a movie.
Yeah,
will.
No, you're right.
So I think it's less about what is the best on a production angle in terms of even structure and how well the story's told,
storytelling and stuff.
I don't think they care about that as much as they care about how the importance that they're placing on the character that's being presented.
For the MCU and stuff. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's great lore and backstory and things for the MCU, the MCU as a whole. And obviously they care about that more than they do specifically. They probably well, we're just going to do the best we possibly can for this movie. Let's go for it. Let's do it. I personally enjoyed the movie fairly well. I wouldn't put it anywhere near the top or anything like that. But yeah, I think it would have been done the best justice as a Disney Plus show. But I also see how they couldn't, I mean, and this just shows me.
Oh, I know you
I like Thor: The Dark World perfectly fine. I didn't love certain Captain America movies. just because.
Wait, hold on. Which ones? I want
The
people to
first one.
judge you. Okay.
I also didn't care really at all about Winter Soldier. We went back and rewatched it
That's
before
like
Falcon
the
and the
one
Winter
that
Soldier.
everybody thinks is
That's
the best.
the one
movie.
people think it's the best. But we went back and rewatched it before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I can see, it was a good movie. It had a lot of good stuff to it, but like the plot was the thing that was good about the movie, and I didn't care about the things that like the fun bits of the MCU of like big showy stuff and magic powers and stuff like that. So I
the gayest Marvel movie. What?
Which
Captain
one?
America?
Captain America?
I mean, I guess. Kinda. Sorta. I can see the argument.
Gotta finish that comment.
I can see the argument for
Winter Soldier.
I can see the argument for that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I feel you. Okay. Also, though, that did make me think for Eternals. I could also see that it would be.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Eternals,
it could be hard to like in a movie where they were probably like,
he just
all right, here we go.
That's a
I
fact.
love it.
Yep, that's true.
In the Eternals, where they have a really diverse cast, and they probably were like somewhat hesitant, like not hesitant, but like nervous about the reception that was, going to come out of any of that and stuff. Yeah. Doing a movie is really easy to just kind of sweep some of that under the rug and be like, yeah, he's gay, but also look over here.
But also kind of not like it. Also kind of not like when China.
I was just going to say though, as a Disney Plus show, if you're going to go all the way into each character in one episode, then they would have to full send it. And probably this was as much as they're comfortable doing right now, would be my guess.
Yeah, but I think they could have got around that with like editing and like.
I mean, true.
Like in turn, like interesting, like structure and how they like name the episodes and stuff like that. But like with a movie, he's on the poster, dude. Like, like
yep.
And they're like, no, we're not taking it. We're not changing it. We're not taking them out. We're not taking scenes, like that sort of thing. So like,
yeah. So yeah, there you go. Good old Marvel. But yeah, Spider-Man, the trailer, the thing you mentioned before of, taking obviously.
The composition
they're
of like
in there.
There's no way. There's no way.
Even without that punch shot from Brazil or whatever that, got edited out where the lizard man literally, his head gets punched.
I was just talking about the US trailer. I was just
the rest is
I didn't even watch any like videos about that. I just was looking at the trailer and I was like, there's what?
Yeah. There's one part literally lizard man's jumping at nobody and he's just like, I'm gonna get you. And he just did he just completely whiff the superhero?
He's just mad he's punching the air, dude.
Oh, what a time. Yeah. And it sucks because it would have been great to see it for the first time that they were in this movie in the theaters or whatever, but like there was just no way that they were ever going to get to.
Yeah, there was I think that like they're trying to like cut off the speculation behind it and stuff like that, but the existence of the speculation kind of doomed them from the start,
Yeah.
Whereas like I think the people that they want to be excited about it, which are the only people that could have possibly been excited about it, the people that weren't going to speculate about it anyway, they're still going to be surprised and excited. And, and even the people like us that it was a foregone conclusion, it's still going to be like, yo, that's like, even though like technically I don't really care. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the other Spider-Man movies. I think they're bad.
Yeah.
So like the other Spider-Man being in the movies, like, I don't really care about that. But like, it's still cool to be like, yo, I saw this movie before. I know this character from the other thing. He's from a different universe.
I mean, Alec just said too, I think they're in very little of the film. That's the reason we're not seeing them. I mean, wouldn't put it past, them putting them in there, even though they're in little of the film, but also this, I mean, PR wise or whatever, this is the smarter thing to do because also that if they're not in very much of the movie, it's a surprise. Like we didn't even market it, but then also it can be an extra boost of, a surprise reveal when the movie comes out.
Yeah, if they put Pikachu talking in the trailer of the Pokemon the movie 20 or whatever, they weren't going to get the same headlines, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Second weekend sales bump. Yep. So it's like, I guess it's kind of like Infinity War or Endgame coming back out however much later, just because they added like 2 scenes to it or whatever happened with that, where they're different but similar kind of vibe, So, but yeah,
Also, people have weird corporate allegiances, and they're like, I don't want Disney to be number one. I want Disney to be number one.
This is very true.
Disney owns both now. Like,
my idea for watching this for Catherine's birthday was, all right, how about we buy tickets to the movie in the movie theater, but don't go to the movie theater, and we pirate it instead. So we still paid for the. And I was like, no, it's a terrible idea, and it would be bad all around. But what if? Oh, speaking of, what if? But we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, sure, you did finish that.
I finished it finally.
Oh, did you see the Disney Day announcement and stuff?
I did. I saw
I was going to tweet it, but I didn't want to tweet that. I didn't want to tweet. It was like a very, very negative tweet for no reason. So
wait, which Disney? What were you going to tweet?
I was going to tweet.
There was a season 2.
Here's the first Disney, the first Marvel thing that I am not going to watch at all, and it's the Marvel Zombies thing. I am not watching a single episode of that.
So here's an interesting thing. I don't know, Alec. This is all old news to you, I'm sure, but I watched a video. I think it was Nando V Movies talking about it, or maybe it was Captain Midnight. I don't know. Somebody talking about it and saying ideas for the Marvel Zombies, how it could have been a lot better and stuff. Apparently, the comic run just did it really, really differently in a way that was way more interesting. Specifically, that Captain America is infected with the being a zombie or whatever, but he's still like present, and he knows that he is, and he's trying to figure, maybe not Captain America, I don't know who, Bruce Banner or whatever, is still trying to figure out how to solve it, but then also has an insatiable urge to zombie and stuff.
I just don't care. The second the zombie part is introduced, I don't care. I just don't care about anything else happening. I don't because zombies are actively uninteresting to me. Yeah. Like they make everything else around the thing. Like they can make the literal Breath of the Wild Pokemon game, and if it had a zombie plot, I would not play that game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play it.
So again, to round out this thought, because I still thought it was at least way more interesting, because the way they did it was just bad and dumb, and I didn't care at all. So the two different directions, one is which probably is what they're going to do for this, is Marvel Zombies in the comics, is that they're salient, they know what's going on, but also they're zombies and they can't not eat people at certain times or whatever. So, but they're trying to kind of race against the clock of themselves. So it's a bit of a different twist. And then also DC did a similar kind of zombie-ish sort of thing, but did more realistically which characters would actually still be alive, and think through who would have interesting moral quandaries, or basically, the video pointed out Spider-Man would have died straight away, because even powers aside, he wouldn't have been able to if Hap was coming at him I'm a zombie, he wouldn't have been able to kill Hap. Just emotionally, he's not there. He wouldn't be able to just kill someone even though they're a zombie. Whereas a Loki kind of character, totally no worries about it. He'd be like, all right, I'm just killing you because you're a zombie now, and no qualms. So having anti-heroes be the ones that are still alive.
I kind of wanted to kill you anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Given the justification.
So it's really, there's interesting ways to do it that make it about the characters rather than about the zombies. And the way that they did this was not that at all. It was bad. Marvel's, the What If Zombies was terrible.
That's true. Yeah, I don't care.
I fully agree.
I don't care.
And I don't even know that I'd enjoy it done, even if it was done well. I don't know for sure that I'd enjoy, but at least it showed that there would have been more promise.
Yeah, if they did it better, it would have been better. But I don't care how good it is. I don't care. But I haven't pulled up all the Marvel stuff that they announced. They did X-Men 97, which is supposed to be a continuation of the 97 animated X-Men thing. I don't think that this has anything to do with MCU. This is
interesting,
completely unrelated. Echo, which is Alec would be able to tell you better than me, but I think Echo is some character that's in Moon Knight or something.
Okay, cool.
There's a Spider-Man animated thing freshman year. I don't know. Maybe this is the origin story of Spider-Man, because we never actually saw that. But I think
that's
it's
true.
An animated thing. Yeah. Agatha, House of Harkness.
Yep.
Obviously, Agatha spinoff.
With that,
Very
do we
popular
know,
character.
is that literally the same timeline as
Yes.
okay, but just from her perspective? It's WandaVision from her perspective?
I don't think it's from her perspective. I think it's I'm pretty sure it's what she's doing now. Because Agatha is like still a character that's in the world.
Yeah.
Marvel Zombies.
I like that then. That's fun.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, you know, is freaking, it's Bruce Banner's cousin. She's dying or something.
I'm sure She-Hulk is going to be good. The trailer felt kind of fan filmy a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Like, it sounds really interesting. The character sounds like a really neat, I don't know, character.
I wonder how if they're going to do like the whole like Deadpool like self-aware situation. They're going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're gonna do some of that at least, because they had like that part in the trailer that was like it seemed like an homage to like
WandaVision. You don't want to see me when I get angry.
Yeah, and that too.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel, she's like a Marvel fangirl or whatever. She got powers from something. Something blew up or something. Moon Knight, he's like a Egyptian.
Yeah, Moon Knight seems cool.
Yeah, dude, or something. Season 2 of What If. Cool. Even though like the first season kind of made me not care as much about it because it could have been cooler, but I mean, I think the overarching plot kind of takes away from it, from the concept.
Honestly, kind of, yeah. It's like the last 2 episodes felt in some ways better because it was like, it's like going somewhere, but at the same time, it made it. It was like
it like combines
it
to what the what ifs could be.
Right.
Because it's like, well, we can't say what if that, because how's that going to tie into the end of the story that we want to tell? You know, like,
yeah. But no, I am excited about Moon Knight. I mean, just seeing the trailer and a couple
of
breakdowns and stuff.
I'll go through all these and then I'm going to say.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Other than Marvel Zombies, I had to point out that I don't care about that even a little bit. I Am Groot. Cool. Groot's cool. Nice. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it has any significance at all to the grand scheme of things. Who knows? But Groot's cool. I'm down for that. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna go in detail on that. Ironheart, cool. Ironheart, Riri Williams, I think is her last name. She's like a MIT student. We'll see what happens there. Secret Invasion. That's like supposed to be part of like what the huge big bad situation is. Like, oh shoot, everybody Skrulls. Who can you trust?
Honestly, yeah. Well, I guess if we're going through them afterwards, I'll hold off.
That's the last one. That's the last one that they announced or talked about during the.
And then I guess they showed Hawkeye trailer, and maybe that was it.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, starting at the end, Secret Invasion. I thought it was really interesting back, in Captain Marvel and stuff, that they made the Skrulls be basically good guys, and I think for the express reason, probably, that they didn't want us during Endgame to have to worry about like
who is actually good and who's not,
like
who they say they are.
Like, I feel like that's a really neat thing in general, but if that becomes like if it's like every different from this kind of, but like every direct, we're like, okay, well, there's going to be a Smash thing or whatever. Like, if it's something that's just like ever present, then that kind of takes away from it being
if there's
a certain kind of interesting.
If there's any room to explain something away with this being the fuel for that, it takes away from everything.
Yeah. So it was good that they set it up, and I think it's like cool that they brought it back once or twice. But so far, I haven't been thinking in the back of my mind, well, that's probably Skrull. That's probably Skrull. That's probably Skrull.
That's definitely a Skrull.
So I hope that they
Skrull.
Yeah, right. Right. So like, hopefully they kind of just take those seeds they've planted and then do them all at once and kind of wrap them up nicely so that it doesn't like kind of quote unquote infect the rest of the MCU with that, seedling. But in any case, I don't know anything about it, but it should be cool.
Same. Ironheart, probably the thing I'm most excited for. I think it'd be cool.
I know very little about that one.
Same, but I'm still hyped for it. I think it's cool. I think it's a good thing for representation and stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Agreed.
cool. Also, Iron Man's cool. So having another Iron Man successor with a different spin and a different personality and stuff.
Yeah.
Neat. Groot. I Am Groot. Groot, he's cute.
So is this going to be, do you think, like
I have
a
no
kids show,
idea
kids
what
show?
this is. Absolutely none. I doubt it. I think it might be like they might try to go in like a Pixar sort of thing, where it's like kids will like it, but like also adults will like it too. Why would they announce it here? And why would it be a Marvel Studios specific thing, Like, because there's plenty of Marvel stuff that's just Marvel. So like if they wanted to like target it at kids, I don't know if and just kids, I don't know if they would give it the Marvel Studios moniker,
That makes sense.
What if season 2? I don't really care, but I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, cool.
I'll give it a try and see. Yeah, Moon Knight for sure. That's just in general, the whole like side note. I am curious because there's I've seen a lot more backlash against anything that's multiple personality something recently in general. So I'm curious how that's going to go over with this. I don't know. I don't have very strong opinions on that kind of thing. I think it's an interesting premise in any case. And him being crazy and like not knowing what's real or whatever just from the breakdowns I've seen, I don't know anything about him other than what Screen Crush has told me pretty much.
That's true. I just looked at how much time's here. So rapid fire time. Freaking Miss Marvel, I'm down. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, we talked about it a little bit. I'm down. I'll watch that. Agatha, House of Harkness, that is the second most exciting thing for me because I already care about Agatha. I'm invested. Spider-Man freshman year, I like Spider-Man. I don't know though. It depends on how connected this is, and if it's like the actual like like Tom Holland and all that stuff, I'll watch that if it's that. But if it's like this spin-off, like it's another Spider-Man, and it's like another Spider-Man animated series, I don't know if I'm watching that. Echo, I don't know if I care about that. X-Men 97, I don't really care about that. Almost at all.
Yep, same.
So there it is.
There's
all
the stuff.
I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Rate the show if you listen to it on audio podcast services. Somebody in the chat, do you have a sign-off question? I'll give him a couple seconds. If I don't see typing, up. Alec. We'll see.
I'm going to, in the meantime, I'm checking if we've got any new.
I'm eating a cookie. Never mind.
How many moon pies? That's my question. Tell me, let me know below. How many
what's
moon
better,
pies?
moon pies or cookies? What's your favorite cookie? What's the best moon pie? Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
See you next time.